Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to yet another episode of Cave Convos. This will be Season 2, Episode 4. I got it right this time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I know arithmetic.
Right.
I'm one of your co-hosts, Dare Bear, joined here by...
Polar Reg.
And...
Jeff Grizzly.
Wonderful. Now, Freddie, you want to start it off with something...
I don't want to, shame Dan or anything for this.
No, it's funny.
Do you want...
recorded
Oh, you
it.
can just say... You want to call him
it.
You want to call him
It's a
D-Bear?
funny story.
Well, whatever. D-Bear. He's been on the thing. D-Bear.
Yeah,
One of our former guests.
I don't want the video to go out. The video's not going out there. I don't want to, fuck him out like that, but... He took a video of it. It's his thing. I'm not going to put it out there.
Brother.
But...
There is a video.
So Dan was working.
You should put the video in the video.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't want the video.
Okay.
We've
established that.
Sorry, I'm dumb.
I'm sorry, audience, you're not going to be able to see the video, but...
Yeah, because I don't want to put Dan on blast like that, but...
We are getting the story, so...
So he was working, and he was in his work van, in his car, or a car was in front of him and turning into a gas station, and they stopped. They just stopped, and he swerved out of the way last second, and the van, I'll show you I gotta say it, the van, it tips over, and that's Dan,
At the intersection.
Yeah,
at the intersection.
At an intersection. In the middle.
Walks off
Yeah, in the middle
Really?
of it. Yeah.
But he's okay
He's
now?
okay
fine.
now.
And this is one of his dad's cars?
Yeah, this is the comedy shit. He's fine now. It was I was like, holy fuck.
That's
this guy.
insane, yeah.
Yeah, he was blocking off an intersection or whatever.
How fast was he going?
He
Well, there
must
was
have
an
been
old
going a
lady.
little back.
There was an old lady that tried to cross, and he tried to swerve to avoid her, and he flipped over.
I
So
see.
he flipped
So
over.
No, there was a car that was stopping at a gas station. He swerved because they just stopped
No
when they were
blinker.
pointing going into the turn. They stopped. So Dan had to get around them because he didn't think they were gonna stop.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Miss McLaren, sorry, I name dropping D-Bear. Fuck, I'll have to do the quacks. I've never done it yet in this new software.
Yeah,
so
we got new software.
we'll see how that goes. There's no longer a watermark or the little fucking label
good,
thing
that's
at the
good.
bottom. Yeah.
That's a pretty. But the thing about it is, it was in the middle of that intersection on Jeff's way to.
Okay, so I was running very
You were also
late.
there?
I was running very late to get to class, and I commute.
Okay.
And already I was fucking pissed because the traffic was terrible. I don't know what was going on. They were doing construction on the busiest intersection in my town. So it takes me forever just to get out of my town. And then I pull up to this next intersection, and there's a million cars in front of me. And I'm like, what the fuck? I gotta get through here.
Yeah.
So whatever, after figuring it out, I have to take a detour to get out of there. And I'm looking at this flipped over van, and I'm cursing it. There's even an audio
You're cursing
message
it.
of me calling a friend, and I'm like, a fucking car just flipped over on the intersection. I'm already late. What's going on here? And
Wow.
It was fucking Dan.
And it was Dan McLaren, yeah.
Dan's van, which is a good name for an episode.
Yeah, Dan's.
We could call this Dan's
We call
van.
it Dan's van.
Pretty good.
So yeah, I'm so glad he's okay. That's in the van. So what's going on with that? Is it totaled or?
The van, I don't really know what the van. I assume it's something crazy, but for 2 weeks, I don't even know if he has his keys yet.
It was sideways.
He couldn't drive?
He couldn't find it. His dad gave him his truck to drive,
Okay.
but he couldn't find the keys to his what's it called? He had to get a new thing made. He does have it now actually. He had to get an $800 new key fob made.
So yeah, no, but you don't need the fob though. He didn't have the key or the fob.
He didn't have anything.
That's
Probably got
incredible.
lost
How does this?
Yeah, it got lost
It was a
somewhere in the
hilarious car
accident.
explosion.
Yeah.
So all right, so his dad had given him the car. He was in the van with the keys.
No.
Lost the keys in the van.
No. Okay, so the car is just think about it like this. His car, he just had his keys on him.
Okay.
So it was his keys
I
that
see.
he would take his car home, and those keys got lost. So he had to take his dad's truck home, and he had it for 2 weeks. He couldn't find to get the keys to his car.
Yeah.
Somewhere were lost in that crash.
And I was 40 minutes late to class.
Yeah.
Well,
And the thing is, I told Jeff about this, and all of a sudden he just was like, "Holy shit, that was
Yeah,
good."
because I sent him the voice recording of me on the car cursing at this van that flipped over.
holy shit,
That was a fucking
that was
crazy
Dan.
coincidence.
That is. I'm gonna be honest. That is. I would have never imagined that. You're right.
I know, yeah.
He
was just, but the video, bro, when he sent the video, I was like, what the fuck is this video? He was pale white in the video, fucking sitting there
Yeah, that's
look at
scary.
it. There's
That's-
a guy looking at the fucking.
Yeah. So did you manage to get it to class on time?
No, I was 40 minutes late.
40 minutes
I was
late.
very late. And
What-
I just told the lady, and I'm like,
Someone flipped.
I just completely lied. I texted her, I'm like, yo, my car's not working. I had to wait for somebody else to get home so I could get a ride there. And she's like, I totally understand. Because I didn't want to tell her that a good part of it is I did wake up pretty late.
Yeah.
So I woke up late. I got caught in that awful intersection.
There was traffic, and then there was
and
the
then
intersection.
A second intersection. It's
Yeah.
a miracle I made it in
You should have said the van flipped. And if you could have taken that video and be like, yo, one of my friends was in that van. One of my friends was in that
I didn't have the
van.
video till after I showed up. It was, it was fucking...
But you still got out of it though, you know. So
I-
everything worked out fine for you.
it ended up being a funny story.
You woke up late and you got to arrive to school later.
I don't
Unscathed.
remember what I was late to, but I remember the van, so...
Yeah.
And
There you
Dan
go.
And
is, what's it called? Dan's
Dan,
alright. So
once again, yeah, I'm glad he's okay. He has those keys now finally, so he's going to be able to operate his motor vehicle again. I'm perplexed though. I'm really perplexed. I mean, the idea. So where was this?
I don't really
It's by
know.
that gas station. It was like between Abington and Bridgewater. Somewhere there. You know what I'm talking about? Where you go down
That
Pleasant
gas
Street?
station in between Bridgewater
Well,
and Abington.
They were like right next to each other. It's either
On
Abington
18?
or Bridgewater. Yeah. It was
Okay, okay.
really
Somewhere
deep.
on 18.
A very busy road to be flipped over in front of.
Yeah, that's
Totally sideways.
a very unfortunate circumstance.
That is
It
crazy.
was very funny, so that makes up for it more than anything.
Yeah.
Of everyone that it could have happened to,
I can't
I feel like
believe
I feel like Dan is, you know, like that. It didn't even shock me that it happened to Dan.
Yeah.
It was just the circumstance that, you know. But
it was just.
Damn, we gotta get Dan on here. If we can get Dan back on
Gotta
here, we
get him
gotta
back
have
on.
his talk about how he felt about
Yeah.
this.
Could
could
whole
even
thing.
have John and Dan.
Yeah.
Maybe John will have a tattoo
John
this
was in
time.
the van.
No,
Right?
it wasn't.
No.
No,
Who
he was.
it?
No one was with him.
It was just him. Yeah, he was
I really-
soloing.
that's two people. Well, at least he didn't endanger anybody
Yeah.
else. He was totally fine. I mean,
I guess apparently there was an old lady trying to cross the
I
street.
thought that's
Nah,
what he
I
said.
don't think there was an
I
old
thought he
lady.
said he like swerved to dodge an old lady, but I might just be projecting because on my way here I hit an old lady.
You hit an old
No,
lady.
I'm just fucking with you.
Hit and run, I presume.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not sticking
You
around.
didn't
I'm
check on her.
not sticking
You have
around.
places to be.
She doesn't have many years left as it is, so why waste yours on her?
Exactly.
Damn.
I mean, she, if anyone,
That's a horrible take. I
if
don't
anybody,
believe in
she would
that.
understand the value of time, and
Yeah.
I have places to be.
Time
Yeah,
value
I-
of money.
Well, shit happens.
I just want to expressly say I don't think you should hit elderly people. I don't think that you should ignore them or neglect them either.
Especially if you are the one who hits them.
Speaking of elderly people, PSA for everyone out there. There is an issue, or at least there used to be an issue that I'm aware of, where people in retirement homes and these elderly communities would be abused by the faculty.
Yeah.
Thrown around, beaten, slapped. So, as a matter of fact, I completely and utterly reject what I had said earlier. I loathe, I resent that I had said it.
Yeah, I could have done a lot worse.
Take care, pay attention to those elderly people because they may very well need it.
A lot of the people that go into that kind of business, they're just looking to like get into a will and testament, sneak themselves into it.
For real.
That's an actual thing they can do.
Like, I mean, if you can convince a dementia man that you.
Well, then you're gonna have a lot of legal issues.
Well, you just show them a video, an AI video of you two bonding, and
An AI video.
You
In
don't
this day and
remember.
age.
Well,
There-
because you don't actually know.
Yeah, well, so now once you enter that
Get into the
stage,
will.
if the lawyer detects that it's potentially fraudulent, then you will be brought against with litigation by the state, potentially even federal government. So I don't recommend that course of action either. Once again, just take care of elderly people. They're very kind
That's great.
for the most part, and even the mean ones are nice on the inside. They just have
They got a reason.
a harsh shell. Yeah, maybe they were in Vietnam.
True.
There was some crazy shit in Vietnam.
I listened to a book about Vietnam about a month ago.
Napalm fires. They're just sitting in trees waiting to gun you down.
People
You know.
shooting
Damn.
themselves in the feet to go home.
Oh, that's the other side of it. At least they didn't have to endure it because the warfare was so bad that people that was an actually good alternative
Yeah.
to shoot yourself in the foot.
Just blow your toe off.
That's incredible.
Unbelievable.
And there was even worse things. People would break their arms, break their legs. So
Well, that
people would
comes
fake
from,
retardation and mental disabilities.
Yeah, I would have done some shit like that. Not gonna lie.
That is the things they carried is the name of the book. The things they carried by Tim O'Brien. And
I think I had to read that book.
I had to in high school and I didn't.
I
And
didn't
then,
either.
Like a month ago, I was like revisiting the books I missed because I like books now. And
Yeah.
I've perused a book or two in my day.
You should,
I like books,
I
yeah.
highly recommend adding the Bible in there.
I did read the Bible, but
Which translation?
the King
KJV.
Yeah, I think we talked about that a little bit
It's-
when we were doing the revealing science. of
Yes,
God.
and I had said verbatim something along. I said verbatim, and I'm going to say something along the lines of. I said generally
The worst
speaking.
translation said.
Generally speaking, I said if the devil had ever written a Bible, it would be that book.
Yeah.
That's technically not true because there are satanic
Bible.
religions, and so therefore technically that would be the polar opposite.
I like that analogy.
But this
Devil's
is
Bible.
this is a very skewed variation. I mean, he literally told his scribes to add in certain wordiology and phraseology to ascertain that he would just look better.
Mhm.
That's incredible. I've never heard of someone being so egregiously horrible, except for Kamala Harris.
A lot when I read, I don't know. I guess I don't have any like.
That's called a segue.
His
Ooh,
segue.
dang, I had a Bible though, because I heard somewhere that when they were like bringing the Bible to the Congo, they cut out all the verses about like
To the Congo.
freedom. Or wherever, they go to Africa, they're like, take these Bibles. And where they made a little exchange, you take the Bibles, we take the land. And
We
not
take your
everybody's
resources.
happy, yeah.
Potentially slaves.
But they cut out the part where, about like freedom and individualism.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of facts on that. I'm not slandering the Bible or nothing. Just
It's a very large book. But ironically, though, there are segments of it that, despite the fact that it is such a large book, if you take out very specific verses, you're effectively ruining the entirety of it.
right.
I cannot stress enough. I mean, people will read the whole Bible and their focus will always be on one of two things. It'll either be one, just the way God acts, right?
Mhm.
And so therefore, you have to try and be on his good side.
Yes.
That's a horrible. That's not any relationship, right? Like, if you wouldn't walk up to your father and say, "Oh God, I hope I don't make him mad today."
Yeah, it's
That's
like
ridiculous.
Submission.
Yeah.
It's an abusive
I'm not the first
relationship.
to say something like this, but it is incredible. Just a very on-the-nose example of how you can take something that is intrinsically good, which is, spreading the word of faith and trying to just be a better person to those around you, and you can corrupt that and use it for evil.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
So, got that first part. The second part, I don't think even the ones that are well versed in it. I'm talking about theologians. I'm talking about religion.
Mm.
This is a really big one. There's a particular facet that most religious authorities sort of disregard.
Mhm.
And they disregard it very selectively, I've found. This is due to their own personal biases, of course. Everyone is susceptible to them, but it's particularly egregious in religion because of who we're talking about, right? What are they missing out on? Love. This idea of love.
Mhm.
They don't understand it. They don't really care to apply it. And I'm not certain that when it comes to the love in the Bible, they have actually put in the same attention that they have to things like the laws.
Mhm.
I mean, just look at the Jews, for instance.
It's tough to like manage that kind of information because like I said in the other one, I believe in God. I'm a little more skeptical on the teachings of man. So the Bible, great book, but it was ultimately written by a man to copy the visage of God, and then it was translated by another man, and then gotten into the hands of King James, and then brought to me. So if I were to force my interpretation on other people, it would absolutely be incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't own the Word of God. That's why there's so many different forms of Catholicism. There's so much, Protestants, Catholics.
That's exactly what I'm talking about too, though.
The
Like
schism.
that book. I've heard it be said that the Bible is a love letter by God to humanity. What about that would then possibly cause you to believe that you ought to completely and utterly break up the community of God into all of these denominations?
And then kill the others.
And yes, and then you have the wars, the Protestants versus the Catholics in Europe in particular, which then went global. So you're talking about people who don't even believe in these religions are now getting slaughtered on behalf of these religions.
Like
It even happened with the conquistadors. So I guess it's a...
George Carlin
Yeah.
had a bit on that. He was saying how he refers to it as the God question. And he's like, do you believe in God? No. Do you believe in God? Yes. Do you believe in my God? No. My God has a bigger dick than your God.
Yeah, it is. There is that element of it too,
How
where
do you take a book about like love and turn it into that?
the competition. It's because I think this really started ever since the Catholic Church began, right? This idea of having a pope and an ultimate authority of God or on behalf of God, and now all of a sudden we try to look for a person that has to fill in as an intermediary for us and God.
Right. But
That's not a relationship. And once again, you have never ever in your life gone to your sibling and said, "Can you ask Dad if he can make me breakfast?" or something like that. That's ridiculous. Can you ask Dad if he can take me to practice? Why? That doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a relationship.
No, it's you're worshiping a guy. You should
Yes.
be worshiping the Lord.
But even to take it away from religion, we mentioned Kamala Harris, who, during one of her speeches, she said, quote unquote, to an individual who talked about Jesus Christ being the Lord and Savior of humanity, she said, "You do not belong here." I didn't vote for her. And this brings us to who I did vote for, Mr. Donald J. Trump, the 36th president, I believe. Is that where we're at, or 39? 40? I don't know. Something like that. But this is his second term. Unfortunately, he won't get any more after this, though he is conspiracy theoried to be the last president. This is real. I'm being serious to you. Major Republicans on Twitter posted this particular image, which has a whole host of what most people would consider to be conspiracy theories, and once again, they claim Trump to be the last president.
In what context? Like he's
As
going to be a dictator, or is America? just
That's a
gonna
very
fall
good question.
apart?
That's a very good question. I myself haven't been able to find an answer to that, of course. And the reason is because no one knows.
That's basically what it seems like.
We can speculate, but
There are people who believe it'll be a dictatorship, and there are also some people who believe that the United States in totality will collapse to such an extent that, well, the only thing left is just people.
right.
And so there's no more institutions. It's just Donald Trump is now effectively the Pope. So now we go back in this grand circle where all of a sudden God isn't in the picture when he should be. That is ironic, though. I don't believe that's true.
No.
Donald Trump is a fan of God from what we've seen thus far.
'Cause as I breathe, so will America. America will always live within me. I love him.
Are you talking about you personally? I didn't realize you were so patriotic.
I love America.
Really?
I swear to God, I love America. I don't know if I love the government or the institutions, but I love America. I love our country. We're
Well,
the best country.
Because in your mind, and this is what I love too, there's a subgroup of individuals in the U.S. There are those who paid attention in school, and there are those who didn't. The ones who paid attention in school, I've noticed, tend to have much more appreciation for the history, for the history of the United States, and for what it stands for thematically. This idea of freedom, the idea that we are harbingers in a multitude of areas when it comes to rights. Even still, despite the fact that other countries have had almost 200 years to attempt to replicate it, they didn't even try. Some countries are going backwards. In Europe, they now have hate speech laws.
Really?
Yes. You can and will get incarcerated if you were to say, call me a nigger.
I would never.
But you could. You could here, and I think that's a good thing. I'm not saying everyone should, be throwing around racial
I
slurs,
think
but
that's a big part of why Donald Trump got elected and why so many young Americans are moving to, conservatism and the Republican side is because one half of the party is like, and I'm not saying anybody, one side is more right than the other, but I can totally see why people would shift from mostly like a liberal sort of left wing to the right, because the Democrats are just trying to tell you what not to say.
Yeah,
They're like,
facts, bro.
don't look at each other, stand 6 feet apart, look at the floor,
okay.
don't fucking talk to each other, don't say this, don't say that. And if there's anything Americans do not like, it is being told what they can't do. And so when you're farming an entire, and I'm not faulting anybody or any party for this, but the progressivism thing, part of that seems to be taking away or at least controlling what people can say. And Americans do not like that at all.
Yeah, and I think your point is proven. Mr. Freddie, we've been talking this whole time, and I can't help but get the feeling you're getting maybe a little bit bored. But you were certainly paying attention as soon as he mentioned the censorship idea, and so I'm guessing you don't like PC culture, do you?
What's that?
Politically correct.
Oh,
That's
I
saying
hate that
there's,
shit.
saying there's more than 2 genders. That's
hate that shit.
making sure you don't say African American, you say Black
Really?
American or stuff of that
is
stuff.
African American like wrong?
Yeah, what? That's what I just can't like deal
Yeah,
with.
it's
Like
a
every
sensitive language.
yeah, it's always like
Sensitive language.
changing. Like
I didn't
wanna
even mention LGBTQ yet. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
right.
a whole thing in and of itself.
I mean, yeah, the language is changing. Like when somebody was, let's say somebody had some kind of something going on up here, they used to just say they were stupid. Then it became a learning disability, and maybe it'll become, I don't know, differently intellectually capable.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
how cripple, a short, 2-syllable, harsh but true word, cripple.
Harsh.
If my leg is broken beyond repair, I've been crippled. And there's no shame in being crippled. But
Yeah, it's like
we've turned it into handicapped and then into differently able.
Yes.
it's just like these words were created so long ago to mean this stuff. How come all of a sudden you just like, I don't really like how that sounds. Well, let's change it.
It hurts.
Fortunately,
Truth hurts.
Fortunately, there is a very easy answer for that, Mr. Kachapayedi. So, oftentimes these words will be created, and then what's happened academically is we've expanded the fields that exist, but we've also tried to develop the fields that exist. And sometimes that means creating something ridiculous and then developing it ridiculously. And so that brings us to gender theory. This is a scientific document that allegedly is able to tell us exactly what genders are. Yes, this is a psychological phenomenon that they were able to describe in utmost detail approximately 15 years ago. Now, I don't think that's right, but that's okay. Just knowing the field of psychology, but that's okay. And the idea too that it would then be federally legislated.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible. I mean, this is science with quotation marks. This is not a body of work that is representative of reality in totality. This is something that really needs to be picked over.
And I want to accept people for who they are, and maybe even be progressive to an extent. But there's a certain denial of reality that I feel like is. They're trying to tell me things that are what they aren't. And again, Americans don't like that. When they tell you what you see is not what it is, I mean, obviously there's going to be pushback to that. And I feel like people do take it to an extreme with the hate groups and the anti-LGBT rhetoric or whatever,
but I'll even say though, if you want to make, I don't know, like a Reddit page or something where you just hate on something, okay, whatever, it's kind of weird, but you do you. The idea that you would make a group that is going to physically go out into the world and try to injure people,
that's too far.
That's utterly ridiculous.
Why do we have to live in extremes? Why does it always have to swing either everybody look at the floor and stand 6 feet apart and don't talk to each other, to let's all dance around and there's no music playing, but if you say there's no music playing, we're gonna kill you. We're all waiting for cue drops. They're all gonna they're trying to take us over. They're trying to fuck us over. And it's like everybody is just
amped up.
Calm down. You can't have rational, educated people. They don't want you to be educated and rational because then you're harder to control. So they just get you afraid and they tell you these ideas. Trans people are going to molest your children. Republicans are going to hang trans people by the trees, the poplar trees. And it's just, can we just...
That's a great reference. You know that song, right? Nina?
Not on the lead.
Yeah. Who's it by?
Kanye.
There it is.
Well, he sampled it.
Yeah.
Like the original.
You know what? Because rap is so notorious for sampling,
Yeah.
I can't get mad at you for that. You are a product of your environment, of the age of which you live in. So, okay.
Mm-hmm. Good. He's a pretty good example of somebody that's pretty extreme. I mean, but he's also mentally unwell.
He does literally suffer from a condition. Well, okay, so
he's bipolar.
Yeah, but they call it bipolar depressive disorder.
Oh,
Bipolar depressive personality disorder. Sorry, I forgot about the personality part.
It's like what I was just saying. They just keep adding syllables. I'm
Yeah.
gonna call him schizo.
Okay,
No.
there it
I'm
is.
just playing.
That brings up another good point. I'm glad that you're talking about psychology.
So major.
So, in psychology, everyone knows the term psychopath and sociopath.
Right.
It used to be the delineation was a psychopath is someone who, through nurture, became sociopathic or displayed antisocial behaviors.
Let's hurt others.
A sociopath was someone who was just born that way. It was
What's Dexter?
I believe he said that he never felt anything, so he would be a sociopath.
Yeah, but that's not true. He believes he doesn't feel anything, but that's not true.
So he's a psychopath then.
I don't know. It's like
I
hard.
thought psychopaths are people that like to hurt others, and sociopaths are people that have no empathy for others.
It's the same thing, but so all right. So are you ready? So it later changed in psychology because they agreed. It was like does it really matter if one's a psychopath or a sociopath? Is what delineation truly is there? And so they then just converted it into antisocial personality disorder.
Too many syllables.
And this well, hold on.
No, but I'm
You're talking about a particular set of traits that are common in people like, I don't know, dangerous criminals, serial killers, dictators, people who have committed genocides. So this isn't just an antisocial personality disorder. These are dangerous people.
Right.
These are psychopaths, sociopaths, things that we conventionally know to be connotatively negative.
The severity should be addressed.
I would hope so, but instead,
Be softened.
No. Let's call them antisocial.
No, that's don't goose.
We have a new topic, ladies and gentlemen.
You don't have to call it everything.
Sorry.
I
It's
would
just,
like to talk about Goose. I do love them.
Yeah.
But
who's Goose?
they're just a band that Fred showed me, like a jam band.
A GM band.
Like
A
okay.
problem
dead
I
band.
I think I might be a boomer. I'm not gonna lie. I've definitely been reincarnated or something because I'm so old and stinky in my brain. But they don't.
It's
In music,
wisdom.
They don't do guitar solos anymore. You ever
Who?
notice that?
It depends. I think Greta
thought-
Van Fleet doesn't.
Well, Greta Van Fleet isn't on the radio. Like when you listen to the radio, you hear drum machines and
Yeah, it's mostly synthetic.
Well, no.
But what about when the radio used to be like Van Halen and Leonard Skinner? I
You could
love
probably
that
find
shit.
that shit, but also I feel like the
Yeah.
radio nowadays is a lot of
Pop.
more lyrics and shit.
So here in a band like Goose, where they just play and they'll play for 10 minutes, just I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
It's sort of like
They just had a what's it called?
that 10-minute song by Journey that you were talking about. I listened to that. I also listened to that band. Very long name. What was the name of them?
Which band?
This was the one that you also mentioned with Journey because they make long music and
Yes.
yeah.
Could have been close to the edge. I was doing a lot on Godspeed You Black Emperor, maybe.
That's the one.
Ah,
Godspeed You Black Emperor.
that's
Yes,
good. Did you listen to that?
I did.
What'd you think?
I thought that the music it was pretty much exactly like you said.
Yeah.
It's complicated and compositionally it's impressive, right?
Mhm.
Like it's something that like you listen to and you're like, this is good music.
Right.
That being said, I don't think I would ever like go out of my way to listen to it. I don't think I'm ever searching up one of their songs.
But I'm glad you did.
I'm glad that I know them
I'm
though.
glad you did.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. A lot of people don't take my suggestions, especially when they're 20 minutes long.
Yeah, songs be long.
I've learned one thing, and it's that people matter.
Mm.
People are very important, and even if it's not because they're rich and famous or talented, at the very least, they have experiences.
Got no reasons.
Those experiences can be pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
It can be pretty damn cool. So that's what sharing is all about. I think we've talked enough about Donald Trump. We all know where that's going. He's the president of the United States. So
He's the new
Whether
president.
you like it or not.
4 more years.
I
We
saw a
got-
tweet where this guy was like, Donald Trump is not my president.
I'll say what
And
my think about
somebody
it
said,
is.
Donald Trump is literally a president. And he was like, no, I'm Indian.
well, there you go.
My thing about it is I'll say I voted for Trump. I don't really care.
Mm.
So I'll say that, and but either way, for me, whatever happened, personally, I wouldn't have really been
You wouldn't have cared.
I really wouldn't have cared that much.
Well, for all
I wouldn't have been like, damn it, if the person I wanted to win, you know what I mean? But I did, but my person I wanted to win did win, so I am a little.
I agree. So I'm guessing then you probably found it ridiculous. I don't know if you were aware of this. There was a trend on social media because of the election of Donald Trump where females in particular
Oh yeah, I know about this.
shaving their heads.
Oh, actually, no, I didn't know. About
You didn't know about this?
I think it was
Shaving their
like
heads.
done
They would
with
shave their
guys
heads.
or something like that.
Why?
That's what I
Done
heard.
with guys, that's just whatever. That's like feminism, whatever. But
Yeah.
because of Donald Trump, yeah, they're sort of, I guess it was a protest, if you
Yeah.
want to call it that, but it really doesn't change anything.
What is that?
Yeah,
gonna
that
do?
Shave their heads.
I don't like that type of activism. Can you imagine if MLK was like, we're all gonna shave our heads? Well, no.
I'm known for my mustache. Tomorrow I'll be clean shaven.
I'll have it in a Ziploc. But they got off the buses and they walked. They took a hit to their own way of life and they took an extreme measure and it impacted the government.
Yeah.
Shaving your head, or we're all gonna wear black. Like, kill somebody.
Whoa!
I'm just kidding.
We gonna have to bleep that shit. We can't be fucking promoting
No,
that.
We're gonna keep it just because this is the new Cave Convos. This is season 2. You know, we're no
Yeah,
longer
Trump's
where we
in
used to
office.
be.
We're fucking going crazy.
I've never killed anybody. I don't endorse the killing of people. You guys are gonna do it anyway, but I believe there's a value to human life that maybe we shouldn't be making laws that kind of goes against that.
Yeah. It has been written in the good book. The good word states, "Thou shalt not murder."
That's some 5, right?
Thou shalt not rape. Is that one of them?
No.
Yeah.
I think that goes.
Is that implied though?
Don't covet thy neighbor's
Yeah,
wife.
because I suppose. So here's the thing. So one of them is, "Thou shalt not commit adultery,"
So
and
that kinda is,
Jesus said even to look at someone in a sort of sexual way is
I'm going
to
to
commit
hell,
adultery.
bro.
I'm gonna pull up.
Is that what you? Is that the shit that you like repent for or whatever? So if you look at someone in a sexual way.
Well, hold on. You sinned, right?
What do you mean?
That's what that means. You
You're-
committed adultery. You sinned, right?
I guess. Well, just
So then-
looking at another like person and like thinking sexually is like adultery.
That's what Jesus said. Yeah.
So that would be considered a sin, I guess.
Well, that
that's-
would be coveting thy neighbor's wife.
So then, hold on.
And that's
You sin, right?
number-
What did Jesus do? What was the whole purpose?
He died for our sins, right?
So that means he's a pretty cool guy then. You know what I mean? Like, that's not to say that your sins are
So
necessarily.
that means I go. That means I like go to him. I do something though. I say I go to like the priest to like say do something for me.
You don't have to go to a priest. You don't have to go to a
You can
priest.
just like talk to him. Me
yeah,
myself.
this isn't ancient Israel. You don't have to go to Aaron and Moses. We're done with that.
Yeah.
Jesus died. He is your Lord and Savior.
I'm
So
looking
you just
at
simply
the
Say,
throw up a
"Jesus,
prayer.
I'm sorry.
Ten Commandments here, and a lot of them are just about like being dishonest.
Yeah, I think that is kind of
Don't
What do you
like.
mean?
commit adultery on your wife. Don't steal. Don't bear false witness against,
False witness is literally lying.
Pretty much, don't lie, don't
yeah,
lie,
honest.
cheat, and steal.
I think we cut a few of these down.
Well, the first ones are also rather important as well.
You shall not have any other gods before me.
Oh,
You shall not have worship false icons.
That's idolatry,
Do not take the Lord's name in vain.
blasphemy.
Keep holy the Sabbath. Honor your mother and father. I'm iffy on that one.
So that one's a really big one. People utterly ignore it.
Yeah.
Pretty much though.
The
even-
Sabbath and the mother and father. Well, actually, mother and father
Not all
people
mothers
do.
and fathers are worth keeping holy, but I don't know.
Even if you aren't religious, like the other things on there are still good things to like go by.
Yeah. But what really bugs me is number 6. Thou
Yeah.
shalt
It's,
not
and
kill.
honestly, I think it's what the average person kind of like just goes by. Like, don't lie, cheat, steal.
Don't kill.
Are you
Love your
familiar?
neighbors.
Number 6 is
Love
thou
other
shalt
people.
not
Don't
kill.
fucking just fuck with people. You know what I mean?
My
Yeah.
issue
Don't be a
is,
dick.
why is that number 6?
Why is
What?
what one number
Thou
6?
shalt not kill.
That should be pretty
Right.
high up. Like,
Because-
that's like the first
One or
one
two.
under.
Because later on, Jesus, when he was on earth,
Yeah.
God incarnate, he sort of tried to, how do I say this? He tried to compartmentalize the information, break it down so that it was more
It
understandable.
was originally 20, right?
No, originally there was the 10 Commandments, and then which was on 2 tablets, written by Moses, actually written by God, given to Moses,
Or,
and then he threw them, and then he had to have them remade.
oh.
But it was the Israelites' fault because they kept sinning. They were very, they made a golden calf, an
That
idol,
I remember.
right?
That I read about.
But anyways, the other portion, this is the bigger portion, this is what the Jews follow, the book of law. And this includes things like kosher foods, stuff like that. This also includes a lot of things that you're talking about, you feel that people do that are good things. Like one of the rules is love thy neighbor as yourself, right? So pretty good rule of thumb, just, treat people like you want to be treated.
Leviticus, that's what it was, right? Those are all the laws.
There's none in Genesis. They're kind of scattered. I believe they start in Leviticus. There's also some though in Deuteronomy and Numbers.
Numbers. I actually really like numbers. 'Cause I
Most
thought-
people don't. They think it's just a bunch of
Numbers.
a lot of words.
starts like
Doesn't really
that,
say too
but-
many numbers.
It starts like that, but then it gets into the stuff about Moses and how he finally snaps, and then God punishes him.
You're talking about how he hits his staff over the rock instead of speaking to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the
He's
little
not, like,
things.
fighting and
Because of that, he
stabbing.
didn't get to go to the Holy Land.
It's-
He did though. He just had to wait until he died. Gave up
Should
his
we
Holy
talk
Ghost.
about what's called
Which one?
Tyson?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, pivot. We did Tyson Paul. I was disappointed.
Well, let's see.
I was disappointed in the
I
way
was-
that it was just like sad to watch Mike Tyson be so like
I really thought it was.
I was-
nothing.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused though, because the training videos, evidently he was much more capable than what he had
Mhm.
performed.
He pulled his punches.
And not only that, but
I ain't surprised.
I
I'm
don't-
not gonna lie.
I don't know. I guess I wasn't either, just because like so many times
Like,
like
let's think about this though. Like Jake Paul is like, even if he's not like the best boxer or whatever, like he is at the best of his that he'll be right, pretty much right now
It's
for him.
age
Like Mike,
wise.
yeah, like Mike Tyson is at like the worst. Like if he can box, if he could box, he's at the worst he'll be able to box. Like pretty soon he ain't like he can't box, right? He shouldn't be. He can't box. He shouldn't be getting in that ring.
Mike Tyson.
He's at the worst stage of his life. Like if this was like prime Mike Tyson,
oh, it's gonna get worse than this.
yeah, but like
Yeah.
for
He's
him
only
to
gonna
even
go-
be able to step into the ring, this is like the last years, days, like
He might
month, like
never
this.
go back.
He won't ever go
He's
back.
never
He
going back
shouldn't
to the
ever
ring.
go back. But like this was the last time, and like the days where he could were even getting numbered. So I just feel like it was obvious he wasn't gonna win. If he won, it would have to be like a first or like second round, boom, knockout. But like
I don't know. I'm convinced still that there's no reason that if you want to say that it should have been close and that he should have just won off of score alone, okay, fine.
he wasn't. It wasn't even close.
No, I know, but
That's why I don't think it was rigged. If it was rigged, it would have been closer.
no, I think it was rigged because of that. Because like it literally looked like Mike Tyson was not trying for a lot of it.
I think he was just so tired. By the end of it, he literally was just like sitting, like he didn't even want to be there. It was like the last round of that fight was genuinely sad to watch. It was like looking at my grandfather, my like 70-something-year-old grandfather in the ring with some like 20-something-year-old. I was like, dude, this is like so fucked up. Like Mike Tyson, it looks like he could barely get around at this point.
He had a knee brace on.
How old is he?
57, but he lived a fucking hard life, but well,
Like,
definite drug use.
yeah, it's just sad because I mean, I'm a total weeb, I guess. I watch a lot of those animes like One Piece. We were talking about One Cast, and those old people are treated with like so much respect. Like they're always secretly super powerful just because they're wise and experienced. And I guess part of that bias came to me because I'm like, yeah, he's old, but he's learned. He's lived
like,
a hard life.
you
He
think
should have
that.
And
And
then he goes
honestly,
away.
Maybe it was a little rigged. Like if maybe there wasn't no knockout clause, or like the fact that like there was a thing. The longer the fight went, that it wouldn't. He would get more money. So maybe he did want the fight to go a little longer, and
Yeah.
by that happening,
What was the difference too? Do you know?
it might have been a lot. Like, it
I'm-
might have just been by round though. It might have been a good amount.
He should have kept those asses chaps.
But
He's hanging out the whole fight. That would have been good.
no, but like because of that, like maybe he could have knocked Jake Paul out in the first couple rounds, but like if it went the distance, I think no matter what, there's no way that he would have won. But
But
maybe he did want it to go the distance so he would get more money, which I think it was part of the agreement.
I mean, you look at his arms though.
He's jacked,
He's
yeah.
built. He's insane.
Yeah, but he's
I
still-
feel like one good punch from even now Mike Tyson would put me in the hospital. I don't know if he really gave it his all.
But I still though the training videos.
That's
He
what I was going to bring that up. Like the training videos are what?
he literally he looked. I don't
How
want to
long
say
did
he.
Did you watch it
Training videos.
live or did you guys watch it?
I watched it live on Netflix, which is the worst experience ever.
Yeah.
Did anyone else have that?
I'm never in my life will I watch a boxing match live. I don't
Good,
think.
because it's bad.
That's no, but that was criminal. It was buffer. Like you had to like restart the fucking Netflix or like go out and in of the Netflix to even see it remotely
Yeah.
for like 5 seconds. It was
bad.
fucking
The
terrible.
servers were just awful.
Yeah, the servers.
I
There's probably
see.
so many people,
Yeah.
but like
And the undercard was so good.
yeah, the fight before
Those
was so
two-
good. Yeah.
Those two women just bashing each other's fucking
Yo, one of
brains
the-
out,
what's it
bleeding
called?
all over the
Yeah.
arena. And yeah, Serrano got robbed. I said
Yeah,
that,
that person who lost definitely should have won. And like that was Jake Paul's like trainer buddy. They trained together. The girl that lost, and she definitely should have won. But like the person that should have won or whatever and didn't, her fucking eye right here was fucking wide open.
And she kept
like,
fighting?
Yeah, she kept fighting. It was open like that for like 4 at least.
It wasn't
rounds.
bleeding,
So much blood.
They were
Wow.
both bleeding.
Yeah, they were-
and they just kept going.
Yeah.
They just fought it out.
It was so much.
So unorthodox.
Blood. Like yo,
That was awesome.
it was literally like a cut. Like it was like open. Her shit right here was like open. Her like
Which-
it was like getting to a point where her like eye was like closing because it was coming down too much.
They weren't boxing then, right?
No, they were boxing. No wait.
That was you.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah, they were boxing.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: is when you're boxing, you're supposed to put your guard up and put your hands in front of your face. But Katie Taylor fights like a giraffe. She goes in head first. It's smooth. And when you hit somebody in the head with your head, sometimes
I
the
see.
head pops open.
Okay.
She threw a bunch of headbutts.
I was gonna say because like that's like normal if you're throwing elbows, but
Yeah.
in a boxing match.
And like at the end of the fight, like, I looked at her and it was like wide open, like pink. It was like like flesh.
Yeah, you could
Open flesh. And then I just see like the coach or whatever just take Vaseline and just fucking smear it right over. I was like, oh my god, that would be so fun. Yeah.
And should have won. She had twice as many punches.
Yeah,
as
she
the
should
other
have
guy
fucking
at
won,
point
yeah.
deduction.
But
The judges were just, they were looking at Mike Tyson's ass the whole time.
yeah, no, but I want to say about Mike Tyson, like I feel like how long were those? What's it called? The training was like 30 seconds.
Mm.
So like you don't know what he's like after that first round. We have no idea what he's really gonna be like. I mean, he's a fucking 57-year-old man. We've only seen 30-second at most.
I'm gonna be
videos.
honest. I didn't see the fight. I didn't see highlights. I didn't see anything of it at all.
I watched it live.
I just sort of made the assumption that Mike Tyson was going to be Mike Tyson, but
Mm.
you've told me it's a very disappointing fight.
It
Yep.
was. It was like the last round of that fight. I will say that like the last like minute of the fight, like it was like so sad. It was like Mike Tyson wasn't even fighting back anymore. Jake Paul
He
threw a
wasn't
couple,
fighting back.
Literally, he just like had his hands up a little bit, and Jake
Yeah.
Paul like threw a couple punches, and then they kind of just like danced around the ring, like walked around the ring a little bit, and then Jake Paul like bowed to him because like Jake Paul realized it was like, all right, I think he's just trying to like,
There was a part where he just stuck his tongue out at him.
oh yeah, because he hit him.
Who stuck the tongue out? Mike?
No,
Another guy.
Jake Paul, like Mike Tyson hit him with a pretty good decent punch, and Jake Paul like, just stuck his tongue out at him. Which,
Yeah.
hey, Jake Paul did lose a fight.
To whom?
Tommy Ferry.
Ah, good. I don't know why. I don't know why I like seeing them lose.
The thing
but
about it is,
I don't like him. Everybody was booing him when he came on stage.
no one likes him.
I probably would have
He
too.
came out in like a
In the
little
second-
green car with like a little engine in. He comes riding out. Phil Collins, I can feel it.
Yeah. And Mike Tyson comes out by himself, just walking out.
He just
But
walked out?
he also tripped. He tripped.
He did
didn't
stumble. He did a Biden.
he?
So that, I
yeah,
mean-
yeah, he did stumble. He came out, looked like an old man. I
Yeah,
feel bad.
from
like,
from the very beginning. Then I guess you would have known then that
I
this
feel-
this was
yeah.
not the same Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, he retired, what, 19 years ago or something like that? Prime Mike Tyson would have kicked his ass, but I mean, we wasn't watching Prime Mike Tyson.
Boom! Would have. Oh man, that would have been cool to see.
Yeah, that would have been sad.
I guarantee you would
That
have
would have
fought
been
him.
sad in a different way. Mike Tyson would have fucking killed Jake Paul in the ring if it was prime Mike
I would have
Tyson.
loved to have seen that. I even think if he actually tried, he could have knocked him out now. I mean, he's old, but his upper body is still Mike Tyson.
True.
And
Yeah.
like a punch from Mike Tyson should kill a man. And he's
Kill a
pulling his
man.
punches. You can
Yeah,
kinda
but
see when he
like,
pulls his punch.
a punch from Mike Tyson, what's it called? Would kill a man, but not a boxer that takes punches. And also,
Oh,
Mike
no.
Tyson, you might not just throw everything you have into a punch. Because if they slip that punch, then you're so fucking wide open.
Yeah.
Like, you're just gonna you're just sitting there with Mike Tyson sit there fucking coming back like this.
But-
Jake Paul gets out of the way and just fucking lays a hammer
Mike
on him.
Tyson versus the Disney kid.
Yeah.
Come
But
on, Mike Tyson should have fucking demolished him. In a perfect world, he would have.
In a perfect
In a
world.
perfect world.
This is not a perfect world.
No.
dude, Jake
In a
Paul
perfect
knocked
world,
out
then,
what's
like,
it called?
would not exist.
Life is unfair.
If you like, I'm just thinking about that one might have been like rigged or whatever, but like I'm just thinking back on like all the times Jake Paul knocked a motherfucker out when people were saying it was rigged.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me right now? You think that someone would fucking like sign up for that? Yeah, Jake Paul, knock me out, please.
Mike Tyson can knock the fuck out of me. I'm sure of it. I don't know how to box. I
Hmm.
consider myself a pacifist despite my insistence that you guys go kill others. I really don't think.
It's more of a recommendation.
Yeah, just an idea. But I didn't want him to beat Mike Tyson. I definitely didn't want it to be a tie. And I guess no matter how that fight ended up.
I knew he was gonna be Mike
A
Tyson.
tie would have been. I would have been pretty upset about that.
If
I'm
it
gonna
was
be
a
honest.
tie, that shit would have been. That would have been rigged. It would have been rigged to be like a exhibition match or whatever because Jake Paul beat his ass 79-73 in boxing. That's fucking decisive.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's too bad. Except for, when it's Katie Taylor and Serrano. Serrano has hit twice as many punches.
Yeah, that's criminal.
Although, to be fair, Katie had at least 4 times as many headbutts. So, I guess the balance is out.
The blood is a big thing. I'm pretty sure, right?
Mm.
They take that highly into consideration in terms of scoring. So,
Yeah.
well, even that, it's just considered an injury. You know what I mean? Like, evidently, you got hit if you have a fucking giant gnash on your eyebrow.
That's so cheap.
Honestly, maybe Mike Tyson's time in the WWE is what caused him to not be able to
He
punch
was
as
in
hard.
WWE?
He was in WWE.
Oh, WWE, yeah.
Well, actually,
I thought you meant UFC for
no,
sure.
actually, it wasn't WWE. It was WCW. And he was there with Eric Bischoff and Ted Turner, you know. Great
I've
stuff.
seen a clip of him like trying to rip his shirt out.
Yeah. That was in the good old days with the NWO. You might know about them. You might have seen some clips there. Yeah, and I guess that's a pretty good segue, as good as it's going to get anyway, into this next topic here. A lot of rape going on, you know, from Diddy to Harvey Weinstein to...
So now they call them unwilling sperm recipients.
Sorry.
Rape is too harsh of a word, I'm afraid.
There are a lot of willing sperm donors who have been incarcerated or at least are, you know, facing litigation recently. And most recently, Mr. Vincent McMahon.
There may be no donor more generous.
I've seen that. Every time I think of him, I just think of that
Bill
clip
Cosby
that
is
he's
probably
just,
the
like,
most
fucking-
generous.
In that clip of him where he's like crying and he's like cutting.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that even about?
That was he was having an interview done. It was for actually the Mr. McMahon documentary, yeah.
The one on Netflix like just like shames him the whole time or whatever.
It doesn't shame him the whole time. What they do is they continuously mention the fact that there is a case against him for sexual misconduct. But so I don't actually remember specifically why he was crying there.
It's the funniest fucking clip. I was fucking distraught. Like,
I thought he was a funny man.
I think it was the death of a wrestler. I believe it was that. Maybe I want to say Owen Hart. So anyways,
not so
That's the
funny.
guy that fell, right? Or is that...
he did, yeah, he fell.
That was sad.
Fell from the... It's not called a catwalk. As a matter of fact, the prosecutors made fun of someone when they called it a catwalk. I think it was Hulk Hogan.
Splitting hairs.
But anyways,
The man died.
in horrifically in front of tens of thousands of people. They didn't get to see it because the lights were off, thankfully. But, I mean, that's still pretty bad.
He died right then.
He died in
He
front of
just
everyone,
fell
yeah,
off
right in the
the
ring.
roof and died.
Because he was about to do
From
his
the top
entrance.
of the arena to the ring. Because they were supposed to have him on like a tether. He was going to fall down like, you know, he was descending from the heavens, but instead I'm not going to make that joke. But the point is he took a plummet, he fell, he hit the ring and passed away on the spot.
How far was he dropped? Like how far?
It was
Like
probably like
17.
4 stories, maybe, around there.
Jesus. So everyone heard a fucking body hit the floor.
They heard
He
something,
fallen
yeah.
From like the top of Gillette to like
That's cool.
the ground.
Not a
What's the
fun
joke
experience at
you're
all.
gonna
I was going to say he descended from the heavens and then went back up.
make? That's fucked up.
Yeah. But,
That's so fucked up.
yeah,
God willing.
okay.
Yeah.
He ascended from the heavens. Or not ascended. He excelled from the fucking accelerated from the heavens.
And he's not
And
even.
I'm trying to find a good word, but I'm fucking just addicted in the end.
There are a lot of deaths in the WWE. I
That's
mean,
fucked up. Why is it still going?
there's
Actually,
from
yeah, I get it.
steroids to just general drug use, suicides. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things.
Chris Benoit.
Do you know what happened there? It used to be like
Didn't he kill
very
his whole family?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it used to be very
yeah, I think
controversial
so.
as to what caused that.
CTE is what I heard.
That's officially what it is. Yeah, people used to say a bunch of weird things. Like Vince McMahon originally, like they took him off the website. They forgot about him as a wrestler. They now call them superstars.
Like a wrestling social media, and they like put Chris Benoit as the face of it, and they canceled the social media. It's called Tout.
Tout.
He was advertised as being a part of the social media wrestling. I don't know why it was called Tout. Tap out, but
Probably.
it derailed a little bit because of that, tragedy.
Yeah.
Tragedy.
It's unfortunate. Realistically, though, things like that happen everywhere. Really, it's just a consequence.
So happened that it was a fucking popular motherfucker.
Yeah, he was he was pretty big. He was up in the cards, as it is, which is to say, yeah, he's a wrestler that a lot of people were fans of.
I wasn't. Fuck you, Chris Benoit. No, I'm just kidding.
I also wasn't a very big fan of him. I was,
bad
however,
for the whole
I'm not
situation.
now.
Eddie Guerrero. Eddie
Bad
Guerrero.
for Chris Benoit fan.
That's a very different story, though. I was very distraught about his death. And he died, I believe, due to some sort of cardiac arrest or something caused from his steroid use.
Speaking of actually, I don't want to go on. I was going to go on to the next topic if you're done with McMahon, but
Yeah, that's fine.
no, you can keep going. Yeah. Speaking of death, I had something to talk about from the Big Johnsons and AJ and the Rizzler.
I need to know what you're
Yeah,
talking
so-
about.
Oh, death. So
But-
soon,
Are we done
Big
with Vince McMahon?
Big Justice could come up dead. Oh, sorry, I don't want to cut.
Yeah,
Just-
I agree. He definitely
Yeah.
has a hit out on him or something.
Because the Rizzler looked like
Oh
he
my
was
God.
fucking.
I
He dead named the Rizzler.
we can put the clip
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
We can put
No,
it.
they have a Walmart.
This is what?
They have a Walmart.
Where's the
Oh,
Walmart?
right there.
Do
What are we
it
gonna
right
do
now.
at the Walmart, Christian?
You like
Yeah,
the
we
clip
put
in.
that clip in.
All right,
actually.
so ladies and gentlemen,
he said Christian is his name. He told everyone.
What are you going to do with the Walmart, Christian?
He's gonna.
Rizzler
He just
was-
looks so.
Yeah.
we're putting that in there. We're putting that in there.
It's a shame, Big Justice. I grew rather fond of you.
Yeah, those the comments I saw, they really added to it, man. They really added to it. Just when I thought that couldn't be any funnier, I looked down at the comments and it's just a bunch of like lines from like mob movies.
The
It's great.
comments never disappoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Big Justice, the Costco guys. You don't know the Costco guys though?
No, I
Well, the
don't.
big Costco guys are Big Justice and AJ, and they like met up with the Rizzler. Fucking,
Yeah, him.
yeah, that guy.
The double chunk chocolate.
You gotta get a picture. Just get a picture of the Rizzler doing
All right.
that or something.
Incoming picture of the Rizzler. I'll get all three of them: Big Justice, AJ, and the Rizzler.
Yeah.
To fall in love
But the thing
for
about it
you.
is, yeah, the Rizzler isn't part of the family. He's just another like kid that they met, and like, what's it called? What's it called? Fucking,
They saw his potential.
the dad or like Big Justice, the kid was like, oh, we gotta link up with this kid, and then now ever since then,
Gotta
there's-
link up with this kid.
He's
I
not
don't know the
gonna
exact. He talked about it on Jimmy
Were they
Fallon.
like
maybe.
friends or something? Or
Totally different parts of the country, I think.
So the Rizzler, was he? But he was part of the original Costco thing, no? No, just AJ.
They ended up bringing him to Costco. AJ is Big Justice's dad, and AJ was like a wrestler. And now, like, it was just a thing, where AJ became like did the he did something wrestling, and him and Big Justice were in like the ring doing shit, and the Rizzler even showed up and did something.
I
Yeah.
feel bad for Big Justice.
Why?
Well, because like Rizzler's the star of the show, you know, and Big Justice is the son of AJ. It's got to be a tough kind of spot to be in. But you have that many eyes on you, it's shit.
Well, it's really like these are the Costco guys, and he's the Rizzler, and they combined.
Mm-hmm. And the Rizzler, he's probably gonna go to prison when he's older. I feel like something. It just feels bad. This whole thing.
What do you think it's going to be for? Willing sperm donation?
Impromptu donation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unsolicited sperm
I don't know
donation.
if the Rizzler's the Rapler, but or the Dizzler.
The Rapler.
The Rapler, yeah, that's a real clever green. It's just being that popular that young never turns out well.
Yeah. Look at what's his face.
Who are you going to say?
I was gonna say Adam Sandler, and
Or
that's my
Justin
boy.
Bieber.
Oh, it worked out well for Adam Sandler, Leonardo
That's my boy,
DiCaprio.
though. You know that
Well, Leonardo DiCaprio, he's dating young women at the age of like 50, so I guess maybe it didn't work out too well for him. But what were you saying?
And that's my boy, the person who Adam Sandler plays. He's as a young kid, he fucking like bangs his teacher and becomes so like popular. I read that. Yeah, and then like as an adult,
What year is this? The movie?
I don't know. It's an older movie.
It's got to be, yeah.
Andy Samberg, his kid, he has a kid with a teacher.
Adam Sandler as a kid? Wow.
Yeah. Wait, I was looking Andy Samberg. Hold on, that's my boy. It's called.
Andy Samberg, not to be
And it's like it
confused with
takes
Adam
place
Sandler.
when Adam Sandler's older, and he's like a.
I know
washed-up-
why you said that.
Takes place in 2012. Why?
They're both Jewish.
Andy Samberg is the son in the movie. He is, but I just looked him up because I just for some reason know it.
They control the media.
Okay, let's calm down, Adolf.
But yeah, it's when your whole branding is being this cute, chubby kid, like that does not last.
Yeah,
No.
because when you get older and you're
got popular.
bigger, it's not as flattering.
Yeah.
It can be, actually, it can be, but it's very few and far between.
Living hard
He
life
got
is
popular
just-
because he, what's it called? Not even. I mean, I guess like the Rizzler face like made him the Rizzler, but like the first video of him that blew up was his dad like taking a video of him. He was like dressing up as as Black Panther. He dressed up as Black Panther. Have you seen that video?
No, I haven't.
He's like running around his garage. Hold on.
I might have actually, and I just didn't know it was them. So this was like the beginning of their social media.
That was like his beginning.
Okay. Oh, I haven't seen this.
It said that it fits you until you're 7 and I'm 7. So it fits
I'll include a picture of this. This is Big Justice?
That's the Rizzler.
This is the Rizzler.
It's like the Rizzler's first.
Okay. This is the Rizzler's introduction to the
Yeah.
Costco boys
No, it's not the introduction to the Costco Boys. It's just like his
on
like,
media.
Yeah, like
He's a man of his own. He lives alone.
because of Black Panther. That blew up a lab.
He is funny.
Black Panther.
He is
He is
funny.
funny. And then now he's. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The Rizzler, bro.
I love you, Rizzler.
Wow. What an incredible personality. The world is all the better for having the Rizzler. Thank you, Big Justice and AJ, for giving him the opportunity to shine, like the star he is. What I
Star he is.
what I will say is, I'm not sure why YouTube in particular has become this platform where adults will try and get children to make them money.
Yeah, that's what the Rizzler is, really.
Yeah, and like
And even AJ, Big Justice in there, kind of.
All those family channels.
what I'm really thinking about too, the family channels. I didn't even think about those, but what I was really talking about and specifically is these toy review channels, and it'll be just a kid reviewing the toy. They get millions of views, millions of views. They have millions of followers
Isn't
or
Ryan's the one
subscribers.
that's like non-kid anymore? Are you still doing that
They
shit?
had to have replaced him, or I don't know what they're doing with Ryan's World. Do you know who that is?
Some-
I was familiar, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's still doing it. Though.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He was
How
eight,
big the
like,
channel
20
is?
years ago, and either they had to get a new one, or I don't know. But I never like seeing children in like mainstream media.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
it just never ends well.
There was Netflix too. They made a what is it called? They did a special where they created a twerking dance team of like 13 and 14
Yeah,
year
yeah,
olds.
yeah, yeah.
Cuties, yeah. Had a lot of fans.
Oh, I'm sure.
They were just so happened to be around 30 to 50 in male.
Mm. You know, actually, that's we have a YouTube channel called Young Lads that we've been doing since we were in middle school.
Never heard of it. We didn't include it in the description of any videos or anything.
Right. But for first-time viewers,
Look at the description to find their link.
but the new information is that Mike looked at our viewer base, and a good amount of them are like 30 to 40.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
There's a chance though.
on
It's
YouTube,
it's like
there's a lot of people like just lie. about it.
yeah, it's probably just
Yeah.
kids just putting up a random age. Like mine, I said my birthday was like 1958 or something. I didn't even know that.
That's a good thing.
I actually I looked at my account and I was bamboozled because it said I was like 60 or something. I was like, wait,
Yeah,
where?
'cause you always
That
make those
could be
accounts when
wrong,
you're
yeah.
so young. You're like, I want to be old.
I guess
I don't have
my-
restrictions.
Yeah, because then you can't see all the videos.
Yeah.
I guess the point I'm trying to make is, if it is true, 40 to 50-year-olds, 30, 40, 50, watching Young Lads. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, okay, it is kind of weird when you guys like you did recently. You went to level 99, all right, and like in which case maybe I don't want 30 to 50-year-olds or whatever looking at me
mean,
while
we're
I do
old
that.
enough now,
Even still though, you know,
That's
like
the level
but we
99.
got our huge viewer base.
I want to
huge.
tell you, I'll tell you a story, and this is what that reminds me of.
Mhm.
As I was working as an accountant for Bears Vintage, Bryce Williams, he was another guest, only for 10 minutes, but that's fine. So here I am at the flea market. All of a sudden, a gentleman who is a vendor comes up to our booth, to Bryce's booth. He sees me, starts chatting me up.
Mhm.
He starts talking to me about Twinkies, and then he says, "Do you know what a twink is?"
Oh, wow.
I said, "No, I'm not familiar with that."
Good segue, Bryce's friend.
And he said, a twink is someone that guys like me, he's probably about 60, 70, go after.
Like girly guys, is that what they are?
Yeah, like
They're not,
thin, boyish guys.
you don't even have to, it's just pretty much just like a young gay person, I think. I think that's really all that a twink is.
Because when they get older, I'm no scientist in this, but I've heard the term twink death get thrown around, which is when somebody of that description gets older and loses the boyish charm, which I think is going to happen to the Rizzler. But regardless.
Well, you wouldn't say that he's a twink right now, would you?
No, he's a chunk.
So he still has, he still has to get, he still has to get to that point first, and then, you know, he can even be taken into consideration
No,
for
they have like the boom
downfall.
scales. Alright. You're just talking about that. They have the boom scales, the 1 out of 5 booms. So if it's good, you give it 5 booms. If it's bad, you give it only 1 boom. So you have
So-
the fucking wrist there, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, and
boom,
they do the
boom.
arm thing, yeah.
We bring the boom.
We bring the boom.
That is what they do.
I don't think it's trademarked. I hope not. I'm gonna include a clip of that because I think it's pretty cool. I wish my family did something like that.
Mhm.
Did
That's-
you have an adopted random in your family?
No, I do have 2 pets, and so I guess that's good enough.
The Rizzler's like their
He's
fucking
his little
pet.
and he's the star of the show. I mean,
Hey, there's only one way to become the life of the party. All you gotta do is dance. That's what Michael Jackson said. So I guess we can move on now, unless you want to talk more about the Rizzler and
I think I've said all
Big
I've
Justice
got
and
to say
AJ.
about that
Yeah, I
crowd.
think I've said all the things.
All right. This is a staple of this podcast. We just about always talk about video games.
I guess, yeah.
And here we go
But it's
again.
not me this time.
This time,
I
though,
didn't even really.
it's a game that a lot of people will be able to relate to.
Actually, yeah.
It's popular right now.
Black Ops. Which
Six.
iteration is this? This is the sixth one.
This is the 6th installment in their shitty franchise. But I mean, what was there a Black Ops 5? I don't remember that.
I don't either.
I remember Black Ops 4. I played like a little bit. It was terrible.
Now that you mention it, I don't remember Black Ops 5.
Yeah.
They could have just skipped it. I don't know. Or
Maybe
maybe
it's like Black Ops something else.
Yeah,
Black Ops
yeah.
V.
Yeah, something special. But all I know is like Black Ops 3 was the best fucking game ever. You ever play Black Ops 3? The one with like you like.
I might have.
That's the one with zombies.
Yeah, that was one that had
So I
good
definitely
songs
did
with
then,
your
yeah.
eyes and Drac.
Yeah.
That map and like the bows that you had. That map was just
Zombies was
Fetch me their soul. Yeah.
Zombies is an experience that I feel like everyone should get
I know.
to enjoy at least once in their life, particularly as a kid.
Yeah, I remember sitting there. Yeah, if you're a kid out there listening for some reason, I don't really feel like our audience is young, but
Hey, we don't discriminate here. I
we
don't. I have no
we don't.
restrictions for
Matter of
age.
fact, I'm happy you're listening because I want to tell you go play if you can play Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies because
Looking up at nothing,
Do you
but
remember Cold War?
Black Ops Cold War. Yeah.
Apparently that was technically Black Ops 5.
Oh, Black
According
Ops
to
Cold
the
War.
first thing Google pulled up.
Oh,
I only-
yeah, Black Ops Cold War.
I
That
only-
makes no sense now.
I only ever played that game pretty much with Carlo, and just about the only thing we would do is go into this one map. It was like some like snowy one, and we would just try and kill each other with shovels the entire time.
Yo, I remember doing that. I remember doing that on I think it was I don't know if it was Cold War, but it was one of them. We were just like going. It was like a small secluded area kind of. We just try to get each other with
Yeah.
shovels.
So that's awesome.
We did that for hours on end. I mean, that's the
It was like-
GTA
it was like
experience right
It was
there.
like the training grounds too for the game I did it, and it wasn't even like part of the real game. It was like me and like friends. We would go to tournaments with just like a couple of people. It was so fun though.
Yeah.
But yeah, now in this game, I keep fucking and I'm going for what's called. It's like the first time I've ever like grinded camos. I already got diamond ARs. And that's all I've got.
So you're really into this then.
I kind of am. It's
How
like-
long have you had it for?
Not that long, like a weekish. Yeah,
A
like
week?
probably. I
Wow.
got diamond ARs. I've been going crazy.
You have been going crazy.
All my friends are fucking grinding it.
By this, I'm sure you're talking about Mr. Flipsy.
Yeah. And
John as well.
Yeah, and all of them.
Who
all
was
of them.
who? I don't even know who all of them are anymore.
Yeah. Anthony.
Buy camos,
Okay.
No,
Negative.
not well. You can, but like not like gold. You can't buy gold.
No, I just think that kind of like the monetization of skins kind of devalued the camos because you gotta go through and earn those. You gotta go through.
Yeah,
and
but you can't buy
grind the
gold.
shit
You
out.
can't buy.
There's
dark
something
matter.
magical about that.
You can, like when you see like when I like after doing all those ARs, you fucking see diamond. The thing about this game is though you don't get when you get all gold ARs, you don't get diamond. You have to go back and get 10 kills, like 3 kills without dying 10 times, and then you get the gun diamond.
See, I think that's kind of cool.
I
And
did too actually.
it's like Fortnite with the battle pass. You know what I mean? Like you see a John Wick, you get a little, you get concerned because you know that this is someone who knows what they're doing.
I know someone who earned that shit. That's why I like. You see someone who has diamond, they earned it. But also you see someone who diamond, and you're kind of like, alright, fuck you, go play a different gun. Like you already got that gun
Yeah.
diamond.
Is diamond the highest one you can get? Or
Nah, well, you have to
it's
get
like
every gun
4
diamond.
times what you
There's
say?
like, there's one that's called like dark spine, and then there's like the classic dark matter.
Dark Spine.
It's something like that.
Dark spine, black back.
What are we talking about here? This is a gun camo.
Yeah, your gun looks fancy if you get enough kills. with
What
it.
is the black spine? What does it do?
It just makes it look cool. It's like dark and like gold. It has like a kind of like looks like a dragon, or like a snake spine maybe go across it. It like moves. Dark matter is the coolest one. It like, just looks like purple, like and like shit like swirling around on your gun. It's pretty sick.
Makes your
Swirling,
guns
so it's
all
like it's enchanted.
Kinda. It makes your gun look pretty fucking cool, especially.
I'm glad it doesn't give you any advantage having it. It is just a skin. It's
There is an
it's-
advantage. You
There's
feel better
You
about
wouldn't
yourself.
be able to earn an advantage in the game. You have to pay for that shit. But
Pay to win? Oh, how do you? How?
nah,
what
it's
are
not
some
really
ways?
pay to win. Realistically, I mean, it's Call of Duty. You
Are
can
there-
earn everything in the game.
For the most part, too, the guns work where like they're pretty based. Like even like the higher up guns, like you
Like
can
for the
still
most
compete
part,
with
like there's a couple of guns. Like there's a free like in the battle pass this season. There's 2 guns. Both of them are free. Like they're both on the free pass. They're the only guns in it. So I mean that's pretty good. And one of them is like the best SMG, and you get it pretty early on. So like if you get that, you have that free and like.
You still have to pay for it. better guns.
Yeah, it's a free gun, and like you have, and that's the thing. When you prestige or whatever, you don't have to go back on it, and that's like the best SMG. And like the first AR you get, it's like the best AR in the game right now.
That's pretty cool.
And that's the thing. Like at least if you want to use the best shit, it's pretty much like the first shit you get most of the time.
I would also
You
argue.
have to buy the battle pass though.
No, that's what I said. Well, there is a
Really?
battle pass.
Free.
There is a battle pass you can buy, but it only has skins and shit.
I
The free,
see.
the guns
Okay,
are on the
okay.
free side.
That's respectable.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
respectable.
Better than I would thought.
And I got the game on the fucking pretty good. The game's on the fucking Game Pass. That is a thing out there. If anyone wants to play it, and you got Game Pass. It's right there for
So you
you.
didn't even pay for it. You just playing it.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
I would think too that SMG is a pretty good starting gun.
the SOG.
If you don't know how to play very well, then you just kind of spray and hope for the best, and
Yeah.
Spray and pray.
yeah.
I love that.
Don't really even need to look at the cursor. You hope for the best.
Yeah.
That's all we have left is hope.
that's what is it called? The SOG?
The SOG.
SOG.
Semi-automatic Landy gun.
I have a question for you
It's
guys.
not semi-auto.
Completely and utterly unrelated,
Mhm.
but I'm interested.
That is.
Have you ever heard of a person being named Gage?
Gauge.
Like someone you actually knew. You actually knew them.
Never met a gauge.
Gauge. I never met a
That's
gauge.
like what you name a car mechanic.
I know. Yeah, gauge.
I went to Bryant University some time ago.
Gauge.
There was a girl who was dating an individual whose name was Gage.
I want to look up and see if it's
I
like
said
gauge.
to him, "That's a pretty unique name. I don't hear that often." Do you know what he said to me?
What?
He had 3 other Gages in his hometown.
No kidding.
That's a crazy ass
I'm
hometown.
not surprised all the gauges would know each
Gauge.
other.
That was the first Gage I've ever known.
Yeah.
And then I find out there's 4 more of them.
God, there could be even more than 4.
Well, there's 3 more of
How
them,
many
I guess. But
gauges are there? That's just
I'm
the
sure
ones
there's a
he
lot.
knows.
How do
I just
you
don't know where.
spell gauge?
Gauge. I would think it's
G-A-
Western Mass. I would think, in terms of Massachusetts, they're probably over towards the farms.
Wait,
They're not
Gauge.
Yeah.
Like a like a
Gauge.
gauge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a name. Dude.
What is it?
It is his name. It is his name.
It's a pretty. I like that gauge. I'm not naming my son that. I'll tell you that for sure. But gauge.
It's like
That's
they,
it. You know
it's
what?
like they tried to name him Gabe, but
What?
they fucking like,
You made
oh,
a
we'll name
typo.
it Gabe, but like they couldn't speak.
Right.
Gauge.
Just
Gauge.
got done giving birth. Like,
Gauge.
Go on, Gauge.
Yeah, I don't understand that name.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Gauge.
I'm
If you
sorry.
already Gauge, like I feel like there's no way. I feel like it's like Gauge, like Gauge.
Like
Gauge?
the extra letter.
There's like a D in there. I feel like there's a D
Gauge.
in there for it to be a name.
Gauge? Well, Gage, any Gages out there, I'm sorry if you feel
Like
offended because we're talking about your name like this.
We like the
G-A-G-E or
name.
something like that.
If we had Cave
Gauge.
Convos, we're pro Gauge, I think.
Yeah, I'm
I
pro
consider
Gage,
pro
I'd say.
I don't know, man. That's
Scale of 1
I'm
to
pro
10.
Gauge, but that's a
I'd give Gage that name probably like an 8. I think it's pretty cool.
66% of Cave Convos is pro Gauge. That's not bad.
Hey, I'm pro Gauge. but-
100%.
100%. We're back up.
I'm 100% there, but
Speaking
Gage
of
is a
Gage,
fucking
I guess we'll move on to Goose.
oh yeah, Goose.
Ooh.
Goose. As
what
the
is
crowd
this?
says when they come out. It's a band that like.
Okay.
Like,
Pat put me on. He's the spokesman for Goose here.
I guess I'm the spokesman. The band, they do a lot of like covers and shit.
They're kind of like the Grateful Dead.
They are a little bit.
They just jam.
Grateful Dead doesn't do very many covers.
They do
No,
kind
but
they do some covers,
They're
but
like that. in
they
the way
actually
it's
cover the
jam.
Dead a little bit. But
They wrote Seekers of the Rich though, right?
They did,
That's
yeah.
their best song in my opinion.
that's their best song. They just what's it called? There's some new shit to listen to. That just came on Apple Music, a live show. But yeah, there's some.
They got some cool artwork for their albums.
They
They're
do.
dope. They have a great sound too.
They do.
That's
Yeah,
always a good sign. If the album looks cool, then they're probably actually artistic.
Oh, you should see Yes album covers. They're my favorite.
The what? The
All
Yes?
of them. Yes. Do you ever listen to Yes?
No.
They make a lot of long,
Nah,
Well,
Goose is just a
well.
fucking jam.
but
They play some Dead songs.
They make some great fucking album covers.
Came out November 22nd, huh? So that is new.
Like,
Yeah, that newest album. I mean, it's
I-
not like new songs on it, but
Oh, okay.
Some of them
listen
are
to
like the
this
first
because it
time.
looks like that.
That's cool.
This is Fragile.
Yes.
what's it called?
The
What-
Love Road.
What are some of their songs? I feel like
I know one
Owner
of
of a
those.
Lonely Heart.
I don't know that. I don't think.
Watching now, owner of a lonely heart, much better than the owner of a broken heart.
I think I might. I probably do. I just don't have it added to the playlist though. So
That was like their MTV hit,
MTV hit.
which is honestly not a great representation of their music as a whole. I feel they went the very prog like.
Are they Roundabout or is that's Journey? Roundabout is them?
That's that album I just showed you. The
See,
Earth,
I
Fragile.
absolutely, yeah, because I
Roundabout
remember
again?
that.
Boom, boom,
You don't-
Yeah, yeah.
boom. Yeah. That's what I know that
Bang,
shit
Bang.
from.
bang, bang,
That
bang, bang,
bass
bang,
line,
bang, bang.
Chris Squire was such a fucking legend. He passed away.
That's an incredible song.
It's such a good song. It's all that whole album is so good.
Roundabout's a good song.
I think I would go as far to say one of the very best. In terms of rock and roll, anyway. I'm not going to say musically, because
I
it's
love it,
Yeah, but I mean,
very hard to compare those.
I did go to one Goose show
Really?
in September, and
Where
they
was it
played
at?
3 times in Boston at like the I forget exactly.
Pavilion?
No, not that. It was. I have seen some shows there, but
It wasn't Gillette?
no, it was like right. It's like right near Fenway.
I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say...
MGM maybe.
Where do the Celtics play?
TD Garden.
TD, yeah.
That's where I saw Trappy.
So did I. You were there?
Were you there?
I don't know what day you were there.
Stone head floating around.
Yeah. Were you there on the day where they did the Fiend?
We might have been at the same show.
I was there,
We
man.
might have been at
They
the same
took
show.
they took all of my everything from me. It was like $150 worth.
It was a very
He took
expensive show.
everything.
I was so upset.
He
I
was
was so
bringing
upset.
people up on those big floating Aztec head. It was dope. It was a good show. A lot of
Aztec.
like.
Entertaining though.
I was definitely in the wrong age demographic though. It was primarily young middle class boys.
How were
I didn't
you?
see that.
When you were
I saw
young?
people are
What were you?
Me?
Yeah, at that time. What were you? A young middle.
This was like a year ago, man. I'm a little old to be a young, like that young. Yeah, they're kids.
Were you 20 a year ago?
Yeah, but these are. I'm talking like 15-year-olds.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, you got bad seats then. You must have just it must have just been like, I don't know, like a school just got together, so they were going to Travis.
it was a great show though. I'm glad I went.
Yeah.
I wish I went to all the Goose shows.
When it comes to, they're that good,
I would have went to all 3 of them.
dude. So they're so here's the thing too that I like, particularly with good bands, rock bands anyway, is if sometimes they'll perform a song and they'll just add to the song. Do they ever do that? Did you see
In like
that?
what way?
Like literally, like they'll just sort of so like
Lyrically, not really, but like
Fergie
music.
International.
like whatever the studio cover is for the song, it's sort of like they'll make it so it's kind of generic a little bit, and then as soon as they go to the show, that's where they'll add like solos and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a jam band. I mean, that's what like jam bands do. They got like their whole every song they play is fucking, and every time they play it's probably a little different.
I love that. I think
Yeah.
that's a reason to go to the show
Yeah.
too.
They really, they just play with their hearts, man. They make that shit cry and sing. It ain't strictly rhythm.
And they ain't gonna play us like if they, especially in Boston.
That's music.
Yeah, they ain't gonna play a song twice in Boston, especially. Like if they came here to play Boston those 3 shows, they're not gonna have like a repeat song. Maybe one night they'll like start a song, and the next night they'll finish it. It's like if it's a long song or something, like
Wow.
they'll do shit like that. But
This kind of looks like a horseshoe crab. Just wanted to point that out.
I agree. I concur. Maybe we'll snag a flick of
I've
this.
been playing with it the whole time.
Jeff's kind of also looks like, I don't know, like a sperm cell or
Very
a
relevant.
tadpole.
A donor.
yeah, what's it called? A recommendation.
We got a philanthropist. A sperm philanthropist.
I would should call that an aggressive philanthropist,
Yes, a philanthropist.
an assertive philanthropist. I guess that moves us on to our last subject then. We're ticking thoroughly through.
Yeah, we really hitting all the bases here. Yeah, I brought up, well, Darian was in the bathroom before we started recording.
I did have to go pee. I'm sorry.
there
I'm
was-
sorry.
It did throw everything off. This is the worst episode.
That and me.
But-
Actually, incredible. I was late over 15 minutes. They didn't give up the fucking room.
Yeah, they did.
Thank you, Maxwell Library. You, for the first time ever, you've actually done a good thing for me.
Even though it wasn't supposed to be the right thing.
This is the best.
Wasn't supposed to be. You technically.
No one was even
Didn't
gonna be
follow
there
your
to take
policies,
it. There's
but-
other rooms available. For
Right.
Why? Why are
I
people
like
even
this
here?
thing, too.
I,
Yeah, no,
this
that's-
is like the last day of
yeah.
school, just about.
Ooh, maybe you should bleep out me saying the room number. We should keep it a secret. This is a dope room.
I have a strange feeling that even of the people that, first of all, people only watch for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So they're not going to make it here to an hour and 13. Second of all, I really don't, because even when we mentioned the One Button Studio, it's not like we saw an increase then.
No.
And that was with the pilot, and that has our highest amount of views. So that was pretty much the only opportunity.
The One Button Studio.
We do it for us.
Yeah.
I will.
like this.
I am seriously considering. I'm gonna start doing some marketing. I think I'm gonna make some
Right.
social media pages for
Yeah.
this.
We gotta do
Maybe.
some good clips.
Yeah, clips is a big thing. I want to do a TikTok page
I
We
think
gotta watch
Instagram
episode.
Reels, everything.
We got a good dynamic here. I really
Yeah.
believe.
The thing is, though, I gotta find the clips, and that's
Yeah,
gonna
that's
be
what I was just
that's
gonna
gonna
say.
be a
You gotta, like,
motherfucker.
If something like funny happens, I'm trying to think like what in this episode could have been a good clip.
The van.
There's a lot of good moments. Pretty much just like
Oh.
whenever everyone starts
You
laughing.
saying the sperm donor thing? That was funny.
Like I feel like the clip should end.
I
I like
watch
that too,
that
just
one,
like little quips, like little lines.
Yeah, and like I feel like if it's like a small clip or whatever, the clip should end with like a crazy line. So like they have to come to the fucking podcast to find out.
And I was thinking
what
too,
the-
Yeah.
do you think do you think I should put a timestamp to where it happens, or should I just do a link so that you have to
You gotta
watch the
find
whole
it.
thing?
You gotta find it.
You can do both. You can do both.
I'll do like every
'Cause-
other one will be like that.
Cause like either way we're getting clicks.
The hunt. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't want them to watch it for 3 seconds. I don't want to decrease it from fucking
Yeah,
5
true,
to
true,
3.
true, true.
3 seconds. That's
But
incredible.
what if they just like I'm not doing this and they don't watch it at all? Like hey, now you know what? Just make them watch.
I don't
all
know.
of
At the
them.
very
Sorry.
least, maybe then the accounts, the social media accounts will grow, and then we can earn pennies every week.
Attention spans are dwindling.
There-
Attention spans are
That's where we gotta
dwindling.
do clips.
That's we need some visuals or something, because people they're like fucking. I don't even know.
We didn't even get to hear the
Right, you
story.
wanna hear my
I do want to hear the
story?
story.
This
So-
brings us
To Jeff's story about his.
Yeah, we were talking about well, smoking basically. That was the topic of conversation. And
not just smoking though. Specifically,
cigarettes, golds.
yeah.
Yeah. I just brought this up in passing to Fred, and he was very taken aback by the fact that I did have a kind of a stint with like actual cigarettes for a bit.
When did this start?
It started and ended in like my first year of college. I had this not an awful class, just an awful time slot, 6 to 9 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah,
what was
I
the class?
Really registered late. It was like an English course, writing, rhetoric, whatever. And there was this one lady there, God bless her soul. I think she was like 30. She was a little older. And
She was a student.
She got you into cigarettes. Is that what you're about to say?
yeah, during breaks, she would just go out, you know? And I was like, well, I don't want to sit in here during my break. I want to get some air too. So I would go out with it. And she always had a pack of cigarettes, and she would always offer me one, and we would just stand and smoke and shoot the shit for like 15 minutes every time I had that class.
Was you banging her?
No, it's not. Like
That is probably
that.
the greatest reason to start smoking I think I've ever heard.
Socially, yeah. And sometimes other people would come out, and we'd all stand around and talk about shit.
Just
Did you
there.
start buying cigarettes?
No,
Oh,
I never
okay.
got that bad.
You would only ever sort of jip off her.
Yeah, she was.
I say jip. That's
Did
a,
you
that's
like? Did you like bum a cigarette?
That's
off her?
unfair.
You have to
Bro,
call them Romanian. Fuck it. But the point is that she was good. She was a good person, and I even asked her. I was like, "You sure you want me coming out here and just bumming off you?" Like, I really am here to get air. And she's like, you know what? I like having conversation. Consider it like give and take.
Did you just like bum cigarettes off her? Or did you just like take a couple like hits of her cigarette?
No, she would give me a cigarette.
a whole cig. Yeah, she'd light it for you too.
Really?
That's that's romantic.
That is a little,
She
wait,
didn't, like, light
you
it
put
for
it in
me.
your
She
mouth
did-
and she
Oh
lit
no,
it.
no!
Okay.
I was using her lighter. I thought that was the
Alright,
question.
alright.
It was
Okay.
nothing romantic at all. But
All right.
She was a good person.
That is. I'm gonna be honest. I'm glad you shared that story. That was quite a life tale. I don't think I really. I do have something a little bit
See,
similar.
hey, what's it called? Clip right here though. Clip. I just have a clip here. It ends with Jeff's story a little bit, and then it ends on me saying, she put it in your mouth and you. Yeah,
That will draw.
That's a clip. That's a clip.
That's a
That will
clip.
draw.
You, ladies and gentlemen, you may very well see that. The only thing is, though, I want to start with the earlier episodes and then make my way to the newer ones.
True.
So
But that was a fun-
I'll probably get
Wait.
there maybe next
Well,
year.
no, but you know about this now, so maybe a quick thing while you're editing. Who knows?
Speaking of,
Yeah, maybe.
If you remember while it's happening, it could be easy. But I don't want to
Hmm.
impose you since you are the editor. I don't want to make shit happen.
We'll see, we'll
too
see.
hard for you.
It's I can't help but notice that rip in your sweatpants
Oh,
there.
yeah, it's work pants. I don't wear these normally.
Okay.
yeah,
I
you
think I'm
came
wearing-
straight from work.
Yeah.
All day. What were you doing? Consignment?
Yeah, that's good time. What I was doing was fucking going in the. Normally, what I do there is like go in the fucking warehouse.
Sponsor, the Tool Consignment Store, owned and operated by whom?
Brian Spade, my uncle.
There we
If
go.
you need tools, and you're no fool. Go down to Brian Spader's.
And get you
Spadia.
What did you say his name was?
Spadia.
Spaders.
Spader.
No, but yeah, I basically just go in the back and like bring tools in, clean them, price them, do some other bullshit,
Price
go on,
'em.
do errands for my uncle.
So what is tool consignment? You're effectively like leasing out equipment.
No, consignment is like people bring in the tools that they want to sell, and we like sell them for them. And then
Okay.
we split
Oh,
them.
you flip them.
Yeah, we split it for them. We don't like buy it outright because like some legal shit. But we like consign shit pretty much.
Damn law.
All right,
Damn laws.
that is a
So yeah, if you have old tools like that at work, we ain't taking broken tools, but
Yeah, if
If
you're
you have-
on the job listening to this, go down to the Mr. Spadia's tool consignment store.
You know what that
Nothing
makes me
is
think
for
of?
you.
what?
I was just thinking about this, you know, because of the accounting courses I've taken. I was thinking about things like like these like construction companies or even like a landscape company. Like, what do they do with the lawnmowers and shovels and rakes and stuff they don't need anymore? There you go. They can earn a quick buck if they
Yeah.
so choose, or maybe it's completely gone. They throw it away. They'll just scrap it for that motherfucking depreciation.
Let's get some recycling going. Let's get some tool recycling. That's what
Yeah.
I like to see. Fast tools, can't get behind that. Don't throw away your tools, people.
Yeah, come here to fucking.
If they're broken, throw it away. Whatever.
Come on down in Swansea, Mass, to fucking tool consignment, and yeah.
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 He'll get you right. He'll get you a quick buck. And so what I was gonna say before, the story that reminded me of you and the cigarettes lady. So I went to Market Basket. I was ordering.
I'm not gonna say it.
I got a full pizza. Took
Sells after.
took approximately 30 minutes. Yeah, please. So while I'm waiting there, this old guy just staring at me. And I thought that he was sort of I'm gonna say senile. I wanted to find a more politically correct word, but
Geriatric, maybe.
sure.
Senior citizen.
I thought he was just kind of
We gotta keep our
off his
eyes
rocker.
clean.
I thought he was off his rocker, just staring at me. But this guy liked my shoes, the same shoes I'm wearing today. These are the Hey Dudes Big
Hey Dude guy.
Lebowskis.
I do like those shoes.
And he told me, he said, where'd you get them? I said, I got them online. And then we went on a spiral.
Hmm.
What? Of like the. Oh, okay, yeah. And then we went on the spiral. We started talking about capitalism. We started talking about yeah. We started talking about old people or something, man. I'll say that they are definitely unique individuals.
They've lived. They may not be great boxers, but they have lived.
I talked about this one thing. This is something that wasn't like surprising to me. Like everyone always talks about this, like older people, older individuals. They sort of I don't know. They like to complain about contemporary things. One of the things,
Like new shit.
yeah, modern stuff, yeah.
I like complaining about modern shit.
One of the things he talked about, he said that we're turning socialist. He didn't really have any evidence for this.
They don't.
He did, though, mention Social Security and how, quote unquote, while all of us are working, those, I don't know if he said bums or something like that, or those freeloaders or something like that, they get our money.
Mm.
And I just thought, there's no way he's working still.
No.
So what is he talking about? He's probably getting the Social Security.
Maybe he feels bad.
He was projecting. He was projecting.
I think so. Well, I mean, it's tough getting old.
It is. I don't want to get old.
It's time is a wonderful thing, because before you get to that old age, you get a thing called life. You get to experience it. You get to do a lot of wonderful things with it. And
Mhm.
do you know what matters a lot more than whether or not you get old?
But now you live.
Yeah, whether or not you enjoyed getting there. If there's two ways to think about it. It's either that's the end, or now I get to look back at everything I did.
Obviously I don't want to get old, but fact is, time can be generous, but time is ultimately indifferent. And I embrace the fact that I'm not going to be the same forever. Whether I like it or not, we're constantly changing, and it'd be nice to try and see the beauty in that. And maybe I'm only saying this because I'm young, but I think change isn't such a bad thing.
It's something that you have to get older, though, to accept and understand. Because especially if you're a youngin', it can be so easy to have a certain cycle. Like I remember football season came around, I was absolutely tunnel visioned. There was nothing else on my mind. It was football, school, just wake up every day ready to grind. Yeah. And then the football season ended. And I remember after the first year, I was absolutely distraught. I was like almost crying, and I looked at my parents. I was like, "What am I gonna do now?" Like
Live.
you
Right.
change, yeah, you grow. That's
I
what you
talked about
do.
my appendix already.
You
I
have
already covered that. Well, I
successfully
remember-
healed, thankfully.
Yeah,
It was useless. Apparently, it was used for grass, but
I did gain like 30 pounds, but other than that, I turned out all right. But the thing is when I was all bedridden, because I was stapled up, I really could not move well at all I could think about was how bad I wanted to go back to work. I was like, I hate work. I always complain about going to work, but now that I'm here, I can't do anything. I would give anything to do anything. And then as soon as I was able to do anything, I went right back to doing nothing.
and where did you work?
I still work at South Shore Hospital. I'm a dietary aide, which means I'm kind of like an underwater ceramics technician.
Yeah.
I wash plates. And,
Oh, you don't prepare the meals?
I take care of what happens after.
Okay.
But
I'm an underwater.
it's just like I didn't realize how badly I missed like going in and seeing people and
Your coworkers, yeah.
and doing work, being productive.
That was one thing that I never. As soon as I worked security and I was solo at a construction site for like, I don't know, like 7 hours, that's when I really realized. As much as I hate work, there's nothing like having that one coworker that you can just chat with. And at Dunkin' Donuts, this is like exemplary for me. I had a bunch of people. They were all just about my age. Max Lockwood, his younger sister, was there. So random. I became close friends with her though.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
now that you mention it, when I did go back to work, I kind of, I was like, I'm gonna talk to people, because I did go into work. I got tunnel vision. That would be like, I got to get my job done.
Yeah.
And then I would kind of go home. And I had a few coworkers I really liked, but no. And when I went back from getting my appendix removed, I was like, I'm gonna try to enjoy being here. I'm gonna try to make some friends, because working sucks, but not working sucks.
It depends on what you do.
Well, when you're
If you have a direction in your job list, then you can potentially be a Bill Gates.
I was in bed.
Yeah.
I was stitched.
The thing is, though, you didn't have anywhere you were trying to go.
Sure.
You didn't have a goal in mind or anything. It was just sort of, you were floating. You were in a limbo.
Walk again, without like. I was basically waiting to just not hurt as much.
Yeah.
And it was time wasted, just it hurts.
I cannot stress this enough, though. I've had a lot of moments in my life, particularly when like major depressive episodes, and I look back at it, and I just thought, good golly, it's like my threw my life away just about, years upon years thrown away.
Yep.
And I used to tell myself, I want to go back and redo it, and I learned something. There are so many things that I do, behaviors. There's so many perspectives that I've garnered because of that, and it's allowed for me to be able to appreciate people a lot more.
To move forward with it.
If I had never in my mind experienced this idea of like, it's like my whole world was collapsing around me, it would never feel as great as it does to walk into a world that is not crumbling.
The hurt gives the good shit value.
Sometimes.
Knowing what it's like to be in that state, I guess, makes it easier to be like, I'm gonna try not to do that going forward.
Yeah.
So I feel like it is a mistake, and mistakes are just how you become a dude.
I think we talked about this before, where some people will consider it suffering. They'll say it's suffering. But in the perspective of God, who has the capacity to see what will be and what was and what is, all he can see is the fact that there are certain behaviors, there are certain ideologies that you're harboring onto that are weighing you down. And if you were just to be shown these things and just given the opportunity to work on these things, the other side of that, it's like a brand new you. It's great. It's incredible.
I will say, having that belief that there's more to this world than humans it's comforting. Like when I was a teenager, I was like a hardcore nihilist, but having been like, yeah, you know what? Maybe there is God.
Have you
Much better.
found that after finding that God is a possibility, you became less cynical?
Correct.
That was a big thing for me.
I also had to become less cynical to believe that in the first place. And I think I did
Yeah.
learn that here because I took a philosophy course, and which is I took a philosophy course as a philosopher, but they made some pretty convincing arguments that we really don't know everything. I cannot guarantee you there's just void after this. That's not something I can promise you, and it's not something I never really thought to take comfort in because it wasn't scientific or whatever.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. I've never honestly looked at, like, even now I'm thinking about it, like how big into spirituality I am.
Mm-hmm.
I never really think about the afterlife.
No.
There's a lot of reasons for that. Like, for instance, in the Bible it says, Jesus tells you straight up, don't worry about tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
The worries of today are far too great for you anyway, so you might as well focus on them. And so that's given me this perspective where, once again, it's not the end that I'm approaching. It's what am I doing that I can look back on?
Yeah.
That's a great way to take risks. And the reason why I'm pointing at you specifically, Freddie, is because I know that you're someone who likes comfort.
Damn straight.
And one of the best ways to break out of a cycle of comfort and to grow.
I'm definitely not better than cycles of comfort myself. I play a lot of video
I
games.
agree.
read a lot.
I mean,
even reading books to me, that's like a level of escapism.
that's video games very big with addiction in Asia because of that escapism. Yeah.
Yeah,
Why, is life suck up there in Asia or something?
I don't think I've got-
particularly in Japan, where it's really big. They have a lot of cultural sort of dynamics. They have something called a power distance dynamic, and theirs is particularly high. So, like, if you're wealthy, like you're a CEO, then your employees, like, they can't even, like, look you in the eye. You know what I mean? Like, you're like a king to them.
Yeah.
And that puts a lot of pressure on people to do things like, buy a house. This is conveniently also happening in a time in which it's very competitive in Japan. So not everyone can afford a house. Well, you're also going to see suicide rates increase because of that.
Yeah, they work too much. That's another big issue. That's why they can't, like, the what's it called? The birth rate over there is really low right now.
Well, it depends.
A weird time for the world.
I believe China is, they're definitely low in China. I don't know if Japan is necessarily that low.
The birth rates, they were having a birth rate problem, and I think we're starting to have one too.
Is it really a problem? Like, we have so
Yeah,
many
no.
fucking people on this earth.
That's like, because even if the rate decreases,
Mm-hmm.
the quantity of people that are producing more people, is so large. We're talking about billions of people.
That is true.
That the rate decreasing, we're still going to see potentially the greatest increase in population that we've ever experienced.
Right. There's just got to be a proper next generation to inherit all the shit, I guess.
That is
the
another
people
thing.
who have
Yeah.
the money and they have nice places, it's not. Or not even nice places. They're living in cities. They're not reproducing. There's got to be a next generation. Even if right now we do have a lot of people, and those people are going to get old, and that's a different problem. There has to be, like, we got to take care of the next generation. Like, yeah, I guess there is think about yourself, and I do that nothing but gotta have another generation of people to inherit all the shit that isn't good, I think.
We are set, though. So the boomer generation, this is sort of who is considered to be holding a majority of the wealth in the U.S. The fuck is that? They're getting old. They're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna die, simply put. And when they do die, there's gonna be a wealth transfer. The question is, well, what consequences will that have on the economy, and what will that look like just generally to the United States?
That's true.
Is it going to be equitable, or is it just going to be effectively, a straightforward transfer where we still see similar income inequalities? We still see major discrepancies in things like education and health care and even child care.
So the money's got to move down.
Are you ready for this? This is a fun fact. I don't think a lot of people know. In the South, the deep South, they have something like 30% mortality rates for childbirths. They're literally like living in the past. They still do not have a lot of the medical facilities, and they cannot perform a lot of the medical treatments that in Massachusetts is just standard.
Maybe that's why they value babies so much.
That probably helps. Yeah, I would think so.
Plus, they got different family values.
Family,
The Southerners.
yeah,
The Southerners.
very
Very
religious.
Values in Asia. New England is a very they're selfish, I think.
We're scientific. I
They're
think that's the
very
best way to put it.
interpersonal, the
You know,
Southerners.
we're peoples who we like to find a field or just like some sort of jurisdiction,
Yeah.
and then we just sit in it, and maybe we learn a lot about it, and you know, we think that's so cool, but
Yeah.
we never really branch out too much. I noticed that, you know,
Yeah, Southerners, they're always fixing shit, or they're
just doing whatever,
They're just doing shit.
just doing literally
just doing
whatever,
shit.
shooting guns,
Yeah.
and you know, and then they're on ATVs, and then you know they're watching a football game. You know, it's just whatever the fuck they feel like.
It's a good way to live.
It's free. That's true freedom.
Freedom.
It has some consequences though, you know, with that disorganization. Once again, the poverty rates in the South. I don't admire that.
That's probably also why so many of them die
Yeah.
as babies.
Yeah.
That is hot. There's only from Southerners gonna make it.
It's I don't even know if that's for the baby or the mother. It might be the mother.
Care about. Yeah,
Yeah.
the South has got it all. So the medicine isn't as good, maybe.
It's just generally speaking like
money.
the education and the funding, yeah, the investment that they have.
Yeah.
Because like think about it, like you can buy a mansion in Texas for like $100K, $200K.
Yeah.
That's also going to have consequences on healthcare though, because you're not going to be able to turn a profit if people are buying mansions for $200,000 and insulin costs $200 per unit. So
Maybe more people are just gonna move to the middle. Maybe we'll balance out somehow. But I feel like we're gonna try to be drawn to where the money is. But if we can't afford to be where the money is, I feel like people are gonna start moving to the middle of the Americas.
the flyover states are become the fly to states.
Yeah,
That's your
that-
prediction, huh?
Especially boomers, I feel like older generations are gonna do that.
That's a
Moving
good
to the
thought.
middle.
That is a good thought. I feel like that is something that could happen now. These are more agricultural based places, and there's a lot of national parks. And I know old people love walking.
Mhm.
They love it. They get a real kick out of it.
That's what I want to do when I'm old. I have like I get paid to do nothing. I want to move into the middle. I feel like living up here.
I like how you just call it the middle.
The middle.
Middle.
I want to go to the middle.
Be an engineer or something. Or just fix concrete.
Be like Gage.
Be like
Yeah,
Gage.
you can be the
Simple
you can be
job
the
in
gauge of the middle.
Yeah, the Gage of the middle.
I guess yes, he has a bunch of money.
That's the fucking your auto shop should called Gage of the middle.
That's great. That's great.
The dream life is like get super rich and then move to Ohio.
Why? My sister also went to Ohio. That's where she got our cat from. So I'm a big fan of Ohio for their animals. But
Sounds good to
Ohio
me.
Did
is.
she come back?
She did come back because you're surrounded by Amish people. But who wants to live in Ohio?
Who lives in Ohio?
Amish people.
No.
Tommy was born in Ohio, but he moved to Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah.
Indiana's a cool place.
I don't need much. I don't know if I can live in Massachusetts forever.
Really?
Tell you what, just about I don't want to say it's the opposite of Massachusetts, but a place that really can put Massachusetts in just an unbelievably inferior position.
Terrapin Station.
That's a song. I'm talking about a place.
Well, that's a place.
That is it real?
In the song.
I think
no.
no,
but in
it
the song it's a place.
just sounded nice. It is Terrapin Station. Station with turtles. What were we talking about though?
A good place to go.
Montana.
Tom would moving in the middle.
Oh yeah, better place to make Massachusetts look like fucking shit. Or whatever.
Montana is a beautiful state. It is incredible. You got Yellowstone, you got the mountain ranges, you've got cattle ranches, you've got farms, you've got just about anything you could want, really.
Should we go to Yellowstone and start a new series, Yellowstone 2024?
So mad about
I've
Yellowstone.
never seen any of it.
Kevin Costner, they're bringing back, so they're making a new season because Kevin Costner left. Kevin Costner's still not going to do it though because he has his
I know
own
what happens
project.
to him.
Yeah, they're killing him off. I find that unbelievably stupid. He was pretty much the only reason why I watched that show. He was easily the best actor there. Everyone else's performances are mediocre.
What's the show about? It's like a ranch.
A family that owns a ranch and has owned a ranch.
Did shit just get too much for him in the end? Have you seen the show?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. Yeah.
Alright, yeah, then I don't want to spoil it. Then I'm not spoiling it for you.
What do you mean?
'Cause
I'm
you
not
like-
watching the new season, so you feel free to.
Oh, there's a newest season that just came out.
It's coming out.
You're not gonna. Oh, maybe it's not then. Spoiler alert. I'm pretty sure he kills himself
He kills himself.
at the end.
That's even worse. I feel like
Yeah.
that's like
Mhm.
that like as far as trying to work around a character leaving.
Yeah,
What's
I
the name
changed
of
my
his
mind
character?
actually. Maybe
He
Massachusetts.
is John Dutton.
Oh yeah, the Duttons.
I don't want to go up to Montana. I would go crazy.
I would love. I got a friend there, Jack. Not gonna say his last name, but his name's Jack, and he sends me these videos, these pictures of just the places he is. He's on mountains, you know.
Oh wait, maybe I'm wrong. I guess I'm wrong actually.
You know, like just doing
I'm wrong.
really cool stuff.
He does die though, but I'm wrong. Sorry.
Doing really cool stuff, and I just
Mm.
I can't believe it. I can't believe that we are alive at the same time, and yet our lives are so polar opposites.
So different. Yeah, it is enticing. It would be cool to go out west and be a cowboy for a bit.
Yeah, fact. Like that's like people
I'd
actually
love to.
do that shit. Like there's a current one of those shows
But
is current
I
based
feel
on
like-
current shit.
Yeah, there's real cattle ranchers.
So like real people really going, yeah, we did it, woo! Can't catch a fucking cow.
There's also rodeos where they will do stuff like that, and it'll be more sort of boisterous. So
Hog tying?
they'll make like the woots and such. And, yeah, yeehaws, stuff like that. Yeah, you don't really get that on the cattle ranches though. They're just working men.
What do they?
They do, yeah. They'll do some hog ties and such, and they'll
Cattle. Hey, cattle.
True.
Is that a good representation of a hog tie?
that's what do they call that? They call that you just say you're roping something.
Yeah.
So like you'd rope like a calf or something.
Yeah, we enjoy
Like
it.
you ride a fucking like a little hoop on the end. You
You have to
ride a
it
cow
anyway.
or you ride a horse, throw it out, and you catch him by the feet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could do that. That's fucking some
There's
skill.
another one too. It's really cool where you have a partner and one has to get the feet, the other has to get the front legs,
Damn.
and you have to do it like pretty much like the same
Dude,
time.
that's fucked up. What if they to kill that shit?
No,
Like,
no, no. You
what
don't
if
kill
the-
it. You don't kill it. No.
What if you guys don't stay in the right area and you kind of rip that shit? So wait, hold up. So wait, a cow, like you come to the side of it or something. Both are on each side, and like they're gonna pull it out. So the legs just
All right.
shoot
So
out that way.
I can understand your concern, and let me tell you. So this is the technique they use when they're going up. So they are on horses, and they're going pretty fast. Obviously, they'll come up, they'll go sort of cross either side of it parallel, and as soon as they launch the rope at the legs, they'll go on a little bit because they have to get some tension on it, but they'll kick the horse back, and so like it's basically like. How do I describe
So
this?
things really get pulled in each way.
It's kind of like a clothesline, but also not. I don't know. Like it's not. They're never gonna get ripped apart, but I'm sure
But they could.
they're probably getting a good stretch going.
Oh, like they fucking good.
Yeah,
I'm not built for Montana.
Yeah, bro, I ain't getting stretched
They're
like
built
that.
different.
it's not you.
Oh fuck! Ow! Like me. Ow.
You're not. I hope you're not getting roped.
I ain't getting roped. Yeah. Pause. I ain't getting. This stretch was criminal.
Yes, that is a horrific pause on that one. So, yeah, man, I agree with you. I'd love to become a cattleman. Get a nice cowboy hat, maybe a jacket, some boots, some jeans, some Wrangler jeans.
Land.
Hop my ass on a horse and get to work. Yeah, sounds like a fucking great time.
Horseback riding would be fucking crazy. I can do.
They're
it.
cool. They're so cool. Fun fact for you guys: I was at the beach, and I don't know if you guys know about horses. There's a particular breed. It's a very special breed.
A thoroughbred.
Thoroughbred is very special indeed, but I didn't quite get one of those. I
You
think
got a horse?
no. I just saw them at the beach. They were riding them on the beach. It's so incredible, by the way. Like it's like awesome. Like I'd love to do that.
That is dope.
But they had one. It was just a standardbred, American standardbred. Pretty standard stuff, obviously, because it was for her little kid who was just like learning how to ride and do stuff like struts on the horse. Simple tricks. The mother though. Do you know what a white Arabian
It's like a
is?
bike. I mean, fuck.
Like
It's like a
the-
bike, but you know, like bikes. Yeah, you can just get that standard American breed.
Well, it kind of is like that. It kind of is because a white Arabian. This is like a racehorse. A standardbred is the type of horse
Is it
you just.
white?
Is it what? Oh yeah, they're small. They're
A
small.
white horse.
It's white, but this one is. You can get a black one. You can get a rose gold. There's a whole bunch of different colors of their coats, but the white's probably one of the most common ones, I think.
Rose gold.
Rose gold's probably one of the more prettier ones, but obviously rarer. these things are fast and these things are incredible.
Mm.
So she was going up on the beach and she was just doing a little strut with it, and I was mesmerized. And it was at that moment that I realized that I fucking love horses. And she like was talking to me. She was like,
You pet the horse?
That's
I got
what
to
Captain
pet the
America
horse.
wheeled the horse.
And she was like, you know what? Hopefully in the future you get to have a horse one day. And I just smiled. I smiled. I was so happy at that.
Yeah, ain't that rich.
We'll see.
Horses are expensive.
They are.
Horses are beautiful.
The upkeep, even just to buy them outright though.
No.
Good
Buy
God.
it to keep it maintained for all that time. You have to board it
you would have to
somewhere unless you
commit a
want to
lot
get
to
something
a
at your whole
horse.
fucking.
But
You'd
they're
have to have a horse doctor.
But that's the thing too. Like there are people who have like full farms and they'll have like dogs and cats and sheep.
Yeah, you have to have like that type
and
of shit.
horses. How the fuck do you manage all that?
I know.
How do you do that? And it's just like a family. It's not
You
even
know
like an
Stardew
actual.
Valley?
Yeah.
Where you like are a farmer or whatever. Like I guess it's like real that you just like every morning you just wake up and the only thing you do for the day is farm.
That's
Every
yeah.
day.
Have you ever seen, like the Hanson farm, and you know how they have like that section in like the triangle over there?
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many times I've seen like this like damn near 90-year-old man. He's got like scoliosis. He's like leaned forward, but he's picking those fucking crops. He's
Damn.
picking them. And I'll go to school. I'll see him on my way there. I'll be coming back from school. He's still there.
That's crazy.
He's still there. The commitment, the work ethic needed for a fucking farm.
Yeah, no, you got. There's a lot of fucking work.
That's a
Yeah,
grind.
They probably pay somebody to do it.
I would.
Well, someone's got to be doing it. The person who's
They
getting.
gotta get
What?
a
So
bunch
then
of
it's,
money and get horses.
yeah, but that's the thing. They're paying someone to do it, but someone's doing it still.
That is why in California they pay those pesky Mexicans because especially in vineyards.
It's so hot out there too.
Oh,
They're used to it though. It's a desert in Mexico in a lot of places. So
Yeah, it's true. I'm just not built for it. I would burn right up with a freaking tomato.
Same.
I now get
Virus.
I never understood this. I never used to get sunburned. I recently started getting sunburned, and this started maybe like 3 or 5 years ago, and I have no idea how or why.
Mhm.
I used to go out there and I'd bake. I would come back and I'd look like I'd look like purple. I wouldn't even be black anymore.
Can't beat the
No
sun, dude.
sunburn. All of a sudden I go to this one track meet. I'm fucking like, it's like I was boiled. It's like I was boiled in water. I'm like peeling like literally like my whole body's peeling. It's incredible.
What to do with like the time of day.
There's a conspiracy theory. People believe that NASA was actually created so that, I don't know, the world powers or maybe the US could install a fake sun and harvest the energy of the actual sun.
Making the sun sounds like a bad idea.
It does sound like a bad
That
idea.
sounds like a bad idea.
How would we harvest the energy of the sun? What is this? What are we fucking Dr. Octopus?
Yeah.
Power of the
We
sun.
got the
Palm of my
sun, bro.
hand.
It's something sort of like, have you ever heard of like, have you ever seen Marvel? How like in Infinity War when Thor goes to get his
He
his second
opens up
hammer.
the fucking sun.
his second hammer, yeah,
Yeah.
and they have like that
Or the
metal
star.
thing all around the star.
Yeah.
That's that, and then
So-
they would be like solar panels or something. I don't know.
If we're powerful enough to fucking do that and have a fake sun, then what are we fucking doing on Earth still?
I don't know. I mean, there's also another conspiracy that there's advanced technologies in Antarctica, and the government is keeping this all under wraps, and that's where the aliens are, under the oceans, and so. Did you guys hear about that?
I have a
Aliens
really.
under the ocean.
This was
It makes sense to me. Like
official
okay,
government leak.
Yeah.
This was in Congress
Like,
as
okay,
well.
like yeah.
So at the
those
very
are-
least, the
those
government-
are called sea creatures, stupid. Like, that's what I'm saying.
No,
about it.
Well, it was more than it wasn't just creatures. There was also technologies.
So you think we could find some good shit if we dug?
But is it from?
We
Is it,
we have only explored a tiny bit of the ocean.
that's what I'm saying though. Is it just like past civilizations though? Like that's not really aliens. I don't really understand why we hear
Well,
first
'cause-
of aliens when it's something we
If you-
find on our Earth.
So the
If
big
you
thing
explored-
is,
Sorry.
what were you gonna
If you
say?
explored 5% of America, you probably end up on a highway. Like if aliens, we've explored 5% of the ocean. 5% of America is this desert. I feel like maybe there could be something really cool down there that we haven't found yet.
Yeah.
Could be.
That's why I don't think like. But why is the first thought aliens? Why is it not just like maybe a civilization
So
before us?
this is one of the biggest things in the government leak that they had in front of Congress. The whistleblower mentioned that it's not just simply that they found biological organisms that were not human, not on Earth. They also found, once again, these technologies. And you're talking about certain technologies that are we couldn't reproduce them.
So what? They came from another planet and
Like we-
were in our oceans or like living there or something.
That's what we're theorizing. Yeah, that's why it's a UAP. But realistically, there's a better chance that it was just always on Earth and it somehow got here through perhaps supernatural means. I have no idea, but aliens is.
I think there's definitely aliens out there, but the thing I always think about is like, there's no chance that aliens are making their way. They're advanced enough to come all the way. I might have said this on here. They're advanced enough to come all the way here, and every time they crash, it's always some crash landing bullshit. Like, no, dude, if they're coming here, they ain't crashing.
Yeah.
Maybe once. That would be like crazy happening.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
think
see where you're going from.
an aspect of it too, though, is that for the most part, when they are working efficiently, we theorize that they're undetectable by any
Yeah.
means that we have.
We could also just be first. I mean, it's like statistically, I don't know how that works, but it is.
That's
I mean, we
just-
could just be first.
There's just statistically.
Oh, we know that's not true though, because we can calculate. We theorize the age of galaxies and solar systems and planets predicated off of the stars, their colors, their shape, and their heat signatures. I say heat signatures; it's the heat that's radiating off of them.
So other life is
Pretty much the same thing.
possible.
So we know we're not the oldest. There are other planets that are certainly older, other stars, solar systems, galaxies.
I
Certainly.
mean, in terms of intelligent life.
We haven't found any other life.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, what if we are just first? Like, what if we are just the first peoples that found intelligence and built shit? And everything else is like weird gaseous life that kinda is life. Or maybe it's just desert. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if there might be other life, I think, but I think we might be the first intelligent life.
Okay. And do you think it's to the extent as to where these alien biological organisms are sort of cellular, like it's like bacteria, or do you think it's just they're not technologically advanced?
I'm sure. Well, there's other suns, right? So there's got to be other planets where things are good enough to make a thing that walks.
Yeah, they're Goldilocks.
Has some kind of semblance of existing in a way that we can relate to. But you know, like a frog. Yeah, you can relate to a frog. Maybe there are frog planets, but the odds of having what we have, it's pretty fucking crazy. We've got it pretty good.
It's very convenient.
Yeah.
I really hope there's like another like planet out there that has like people that are like
They have a history.
that have like something, I don't know, like a language. So like we could communicate with them, even if like it's not like our language, obviously. Like we could communicate with them. Like they have a written language somewhere that could obviously somehow be translated, which would fucking be crazy. Like it's hard to
Or
do.
something
We
we
have to
could at
take
least-
like communication between the two fucking species, but
Something we can just say hi to, and maybe get like a hi back, or therefore a hi.
Oh, there have been some things like we ran experiments. Or I say we, like NASA ran some experiments. They sent some signals into space as far as possible as they possibly could. And they got responses. The only thing is the responses are controversial scientifically. Like not every scientist agrees that yes, this is what they said, or yes, this was a response. The response was something along the lines of like leave us alone. So going to what
Did we
you're
leave
saying
them
here.
alone?
No, we then sent out like
Really?
several other signals. Yeah.
Why?
So we don't give a fuck. We don't care. And have you ever heard of CERN? You know what they're doing there?
Super collider? CERN super collider? Is that it?
Super collider. They have a hadron collider. Is that what you're talking about?
Maybe. I heard about that on the Big Bang Theory. This
Yeah.
super collider. It's in like Switzerland, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Geneva. It also goes into some other places because it's that big. It's if I recall correctly, it is so big that it extends past the borders of Switzerland into an adjacent
Jeez.
country. And anyways, they launch. This has been around for a while too. This is like close to when we were learning about atomic bombs. So this is like 50s or so.
Yeah, isn't it like... Was it? Actually, I don't know. Yeah, I'm stupid.
Okay. But so they launched these photons at each other, or protons maybe. I don't remember. specifically what a subatomic element it is. But they're launching very small things at each other near the speed of sound.
So
Or
yeah,
light.
they collide. So is
Yeah.
that why it's called super collider?
And they collide, yeah. And when they collide, they create what they describe as, and this is verbatim, conditions similar to that of the Big Bang. Other scientists have described this phenomenon as a portal, which is
True.
which is correct.
Not like a tear in space.
It is literally a tear in the fabric of our spatial and temporal reality.
So
as we
we're
know it,
really
yeah.
doing some crazy shit, right? Like in this world, like we're
Really crazy
breaking
shit, yeah.
space and time.
Well, just think about it. I mean, if you know the Nazis were over there, and even the Japanese were over there doing these abhorrent experiments on human beings, you can only imagine what we've done technologically. Never mind just biologically,
But how
right?
much do we really care
And we have
about
cloning,
space?
you know. So, huh?
How much do we really care about space? Like,
We don't care about it nearly as much as we used to.
understanding humans, that is huge. So,
It's become privatized for the most part with SpaceX and Blue Origin, things of that variety.
I want to like just. I hope that in our lifetime we get like a message from space.
yeah.
We already have.
No, but like a message that's like, no doubt, like not like no there's no disproving it. Like we get a message from space by
Well,
like this, and it's just like someone like saying like out like we're out like
that could
we're
be,
out here, or it's someone looking for like what we did. It's someone looking for us, and it's inconclusive. It is. That's what I
I feel
hope
like
that happens.
you'll
Like
never
that'd be
get-
fucking sick.
unless they were like super crazy advanced though, I feel like you'd never get an absolute message. I feel like we would always doubt if we got a message from
Yeah.
I know.
aliens. Like if it came out tomorrow, that like radio station, Radio 305 was like, we're here, we're real, and scientists picked it up, I'd probably be like, I feel like a lot of people would be very hard to convince. I feel like getting a clear message that far.
How, my
like a
question
message
is,
in a bottle.
what was the
Hmm.
message? Like, what did we send up?
What did we send out?
Like, was it like English? Hello? Like,
We sent out a lot of things. So we sent out a physical message which had symbols that
was it like our
I,
bodies?
I,
Was it-
I myself couldn't even discern the symbols. So I have no fucking clue how an alien is supposed to know what we were trying to say.
was
but,
it?
But
did-
anyways,
Did they send up like a image of like a naked male and a naked female of our race? Did they do that, or am I stupid?
I'm not certain if that happened.
Like just an
we-
image?
That can happen. Yeah, we can do
Maybe.
that. But,
I mean, I don't know if that's what they did. Maybe I don't know.
It's
That was the
possible.
Messages.
It's possible.
I don't know.
but yeah. So in addition to like actual physical things, they'll also do, like I said, like radio signals and these sort of frequencies. They'll sort of what is a good word? They'll transmit it so that it obviously carries a message, right? And yeah, so that's how we got the response that I'd mentioned earlier.
Like beeps.
Who's doing
What is the
this?
message though?
It's we
Military?
can't really use source code because that's effectively a language. So
Yeah.
we try not to use languages.
That's why it's hard as fuck. I feel.
Yeah, it's very difficult. It's very difficult indeed. And a lot of the messages, like I said, like I don't think most humans could discern a lot of them, honestly.
Wouldn't be able to get them clearly.
So like now, like what if we sent up like like objects or whatever you said?
There are objects, yeah, that
Oh,
have been sent.
Like what if something like just floated into our fucking area that was like sent by someone else? There's like some mysterious
Like
thing,
something
like the Tesseract. Not really, but like what if it was like
a piece of
something like that?
technology.
Like they like we have this advanced technology, and we're gonna send it out into the what's it called? Trying to hope that there's other people that could recognize that this is from something else. And what if we? That's what I
Yeah.
hope.
We'd have to send up something so incredible that they're not like, this is some fucking junk that fell out of space.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it as well. I mean, so you understand the idea of the Big Bang, whereby everything is infinitely expanding, right? So you send something out and it has a finite velocity and trajectory. The only thing is, if everything's expanding, then wherever you're launching this to is where potentially whatever you're aiming for was, and not where it will be.
Kind of a fun thought exercise. What would you send out to be like, hello?